The opinions expressed of this show are for entertainment purposes and should not be misconstrued or interpreted as fact. If you have a gambling problem, call 1-800-522-4700.
Introducing PubCoin. PubCoin is the rewards program for pub sports contributors. Regular chat contributors share their play of the day, POD, in the YouTube chat, including the phrase POD in their message. At the end of the week, the amount of units earned are converted into PubCoins. PubCoin can be used as reward points for prizes, shop discounts, and contests.
Hey, what's going on, y'all? It's Mills here, Pub Sports Radio. Do you guys want to challenge the personalities here at Pub Sports Radio? Do you guys think you're better than them at entering in your MMA predictions and picks? Would you want to get paid for it? $100? Here's how you do it, man. You sign up right here at the link below. It's just this easy. PubSportsRadio.com. Enter your email. Pick your weekly picks. That's it. Oh, and you get bonus points if you can predict how they're going to win in what round. Every single week, a new winner's getting crowned. So every Saturday on Pub Sports Radio. So come on and check us out. You can win $100 just for signing up. Only thing you need to do is see if you can beat us here at Pub Sports Radio by entering your UFC predictions and picks weekly. Do it. I dare you. See you guys soon.
Your membership to Gold, you will be automatically entered in every horse race, every Wednesday and Friday. It is time to race horses. We are racing camels today.
Shout out to the Gold members. We're racing in San Antonio immediately here. And we're off. 2 minutes, 74 canals on this racetrack. It's wide. We're racing in San Antonio.
Matt Wally moving forwardly. Jeff Slaughter in the mix as well. And as is Randall Sheffield, who's put that beautiful nose out front.
But it's actually real grass here, Jimmy. Maybe Kentucky bluegrass. Oldie, no! There he goes. There he goes. Oldie in the lead now. K. Wolf falls back. The horses love it. Sometimes they stop and eat it on the way to the finish line. That's why your horses start so far in the back. Here. Oh, look at Nuss Flush Allen bursting out here. J-Dub in the mix. Rude Boy up here as well. Jimmy, take it away.
There's Oldie. Oldie is moving to the front. We are past the halfway mark in our 2 mile. And there's Ricky Levy.
Oh my goodness, he's in the mix here. Jimmy, take it home. This is our first dog race ever.
19 seconds left in the horse race here. It's Fernando Mendoza trying to find the wire. 14 seconds left. Can Fernando Mendoza take this home? Here comes Kenny Can. Kenny Can wants a piece of the pie. Put his schnoz up front. Ricky Bobby, 9 seconds left. Can Donut Silks make a run? Can Res Mall make a run to be $50?
You son of a bitch!
Here comes Tori Coker. Kenny Can, Smoke and Mirrors, Director 97. Home. That is a way. Here comes Jason Meyer, the Eldorado Custodian. Billy Friedrich. Jones one all coming down the finish.
Coin! Meyer! Nowhere!
Oh no! Fanatical Jim!
From the Parker Peter Low Shack, legendary sports handicapper, more dapper than a dawn. Father young phenom, known as Jimmy, who declared one day that the bag was here to stay. Information like a PSA, when we all PSR Pub Sports Radio bizarre. Is a man named Slaughter and he flipped the script. No competition in this they quit the trip. But we say we be pubbing. Betting with the bag and you love it. We want it top 10, we above it.
What up, cappers, gamblers, punters, hustlers, low baggers? Happy Thursday, May 8th to all of you. Thank you for watching Betting with the Bag right here on Pub Sports Radio. It was a middling day yesterday, 4-5 in Major League Baseball. Baseball is so complicated. Although I love NHL and NBA playoffs so much, and I can't wait to talk about these games. I've hammered them all, but all the NHL and NBA playoffs. But man, I'm looking forward till we have a little bit more time to focus on these Major League Baseball games. Once I knew once I knew that the weather was not going to be an issue in the White Sox Kansas City Royals game, or that it wasn't going to be rained out or any concern there. And same with the Rockies game, because there's some weather issues there. I sat there for an hour just with these two games, and they saved my night. But the Rockies spot became so clear to me. You had this 9th overall pick in the draft who had looked like he may have found something, but that wasn't the issue. It was Jackson Jobe was 22 years old and making his first start at Coors. We hear Jose and other cappers talk about that all the time. You want to fade their first start at Coors. And then you look at the Tigers, and look at the line. The Rockies were plus 140 full game. They were plus 105 first 5. And then I was like, well, let's cut it down even more than that. They were minus 105 first 3. I don't know, you have a pitcher in the Rockies pitcher who had all numbers, way worse than Jackson Jobe. I mean, way worse across the board. And yet he's 35 cents more expensive first 5, this pitch, because the 22-year-old was having his first start. And, so I got that money, but it angered me all night that it wasn't sussed out. I didn't figure it out here on the show. That should have been put on a silver platter for all of us to cash, but I didn't get there. And I didn't get there until staring at these games, for 2 hours, 3 hours after the show and going over all the notes from the cappers in the chat. They're colleagues that I care about very much, and they talk about the value of this show. And the value of this show is all encapsulated. Like there's so many different elements that bring value. And I'm sure a lot of you guys do this with the show, copy and paste comments. I really think that you need to copy and paste comments throughout the worksheet. Again, the worksheet is set up under video description because I sit with all of your action with these comments. I sit with it, and then things illuminate that should have illuminated to me earlier in the card. So I do look forward to the opportunities that we are going to get when, it's just baseball. Now there'll be WNBA and there'll be CFL a little bit, but when we can really just sit there and deep dive, I mean, I should have put the Rockies' first 3 on a silver platter for you guys. It should have just been a gift to all of us, but it took me all day to see it. I don't know why. I guess it took me all day to click on first 5 and see the price difference with a worse pitcher on the mound. There were some issues yesterday here on the show. The one underlying theme for me, though, is that we're trying to become better cappers here. And sometimes when someone comes in and, they know everything and they're already, we're no use for them. If you're already a perfect capper, you're no use. You don't need us because we're, as a group, trying to become better cappers every day. And if there's no room for you to be a better capper, you're already spectacular, then find a different group to hang out with. Shout out to all the cappers in the chat. Johnny Gunn says, how good is Mikko Rantanen? Is he up there with McDavid and Draisaitl better? Should the Oilers be worried, or is this no reaction? The Oilers are just focused on the Knights. The Oilers are not thinking about anybody else except Vegas. But if we are right, and it's Edmonton, Dallas in the next round, which we said at the very beginning of the playoffs, that is going to be a phenomenal series. And I've got Futures Conference and Stanley Cup on both. What do I do? Just sit back and watch? Maybe wait for some situational spots? I felt guilty a little bit too with, again, like if this show was 8 hours long, it would be better for me. Or if we had an early show and then a late show, it'd be better because there's so much that you sit with and then you see clear. And there's things that are daunting, and NBA can become daunting. And yesterday's card was daunting to me in NBA. I've made 3 bets on this card, this one game in NBA, so I'm ready to get back in action. But I felt guilty, and thank God for Brizzy giving up, his action in NBA, and all you guys in the chat. Sweaty Butcher in the house. Sweaty Butcher, I know the time change has been tricky for some people, and I hate that it has affected you in this way. You're such an OG, and I, apologize that it's affected you in this way. I need you. We all need you. We need your NBA action bad. We need you gabbing with us bad. Gerald Jones in the house. Is my Knicks earning checks, man? Your Knicks are earning chicks and checks. That was wild. And best bet, Chicago KC Royals under 4.5 for Gerald Jones. I've cashed that first 3 under in back-to-back games. God, the White Sox are perfect for it. I kind of, it's funny that the White Sox have such a horrific record because I look at this White Sox record and I look at the roster. I'm like, they're much better than last year. Why are they still so horrible? Gerald Jones on the Timberwolves first quarter, first half here. Justin McKelvey action. I'm just going to copy and paste, and then we'll get to work. We got a great show. We have Bobano here for National Hockey League action. We didn't get him for NHL last week. It was too bad. It's too bad. So he's going to be here rocking with us, and then we'll get into a few games of MLB. We'll see how many that we can get. Stacks play today. Devers over 1.5 bases, and then Mookie Betts over 1.5 basis. Big Scott in the house says, thank you for pushing me towards Oilers and Stars. Hey, thank you for believing in it and trusting us and believing in us. So you have to press the button, man. And I didn't parlay them. I'm so excited about these playoff games. So, dude, I've never felt like this, and I keep saying it over and over again. But usually, I'm very comfortable. Like, I'm in an enviable situation here. I got 2 teams that I've got futures on. They're looking good. But no, I'm like, put the gas pedal down, bet them every single game and their team total over. Not team total overs in the Dallas Winnipeg series because we know how low scoring that's going to be. But I mean, if we don't need the threes, maybe we just start betting the team total over 2.5. They can win games 2-0. That's a bit of a problem, though. Ottinger looks dialed in. Big Scott, Phillies -1, Royals under 8.5, Twins first 5 -0.5, and Wolves first half -6.5. That is copied and pasted. We got Chess and Gambling Daily in the house. My dude says Knicks in 6. Tori Coker ready to go. Tori Coker, how do we handle the Panthers in game 3? How do we handle them? We'll talk with Bobano a bit about this, but I know they're not playing today. But, there are options. Slatsy talked about, do we move on the Panthers to win the series at +180? And this Leafs team just doesn't seem scared of them. I thought maybe do we move on the Panthers +1.5 at -120? And then I was like, well, they seem to show out in these situations when they get back home. Do we just take the Panthers on the puck line? Because the -1 is a little too expensive for me. So I've still got work to do there. A Crip Key in the house, serious business, ready to get to work. Just my 2 cents. We got Lewis Eisenhower ready to get to work. Old E. Perky Sanderson. Perky, we've been there, man. It's just part of it, we've all been there. It sucks. It sucks. But you were in a very enviable situation, and the Jays bullpen has been good enough lately. They should have nailed it down. So I hate that you had to go through those feelings. But yeah, I hear that, man. I absolutely hear that. Shout out to everybody with us, rocking with us. Rogue Energy, 5 units on the Phillies yesterday. I love it. Oldie went back to Olsen bases. Free bands play today. Royals on the run line -1.5. We got Robert McCormick in the house ready to get to work. Let's get this copied and pasted. Joe Tadero in the house. Great to see you. Joe Tadero hit two-leg of Phillies, Maple Leafs plus 290 last night. Absolutely beautiful. We got Gorky, Twins, Tigers, game 1 here. Twins and Tigers, game 1 money line. There. Sweaty Butcher, the Major League Baseball home favorites of minus 150 or more, 8-2 straight up, and 2-8 towards the under. 8 to the under. Wow, very, very interesting. Very, very, very interesting. Crystal Craig ready to get to work. Great to see you, Crystal. Christopher Commentini. We got Toby Lane says, told you all about the Leafs yesterday, boys. You sure did. You sure did. Here, I'm going to ditch this person here. Walla Dose, just my 2 cents. Now, that's another thing, about because we come from the Peter Loshak school of when we cut or bounce people from the chat. I bounced somebody from the chat when I was on Medicaid Mondays. I know it's not my show, but the face of that person was when somebody works, one of us, somebody on the Locker Room Talk podcast. They had a different name, but if you use the face of one of our guys, we're just not gonna. I'm not gonna sit back and let anybody do that. So I don't need Jimmy the Bag #1 fan. I'm sure you'll come back with a different name, and you are welcome to come after me in any way. If it's not, racial or sexual or anything like that, you can come after me in any way. All right. Great to see all of you guys. Red Mo says reload on the Panther series. I need to study this a little more and figure it out. Mark Stasowski, thank you for these very, very kind words. Thank you. It means a ton to me. Thank you. I believe in what we're doing. It's not really showing in the numbers with our views and things like that, but I truly, truly do believe in what we're doing. So thank you for the kind words, Mark. All right, we got Let's Dance on Racky Moneyline. Black Thor King in the house. Thank you guys all for joining us. There's razor sharp picks ready to get to work. I can't wait I imagine that your incredible streak in the NHL playoffs will involve a total in the first period of the Vegas game, which I will be watching very closely, and I won't mention it unless you announce it. Torrey Coker is on Panthers on the puck line in that next game. All right, it is great to see all of you guys. Let's get to work, and I don't need a #1 fan. I prefer not to have one. So if you're going to put my picture on a thing and say you're my #1 fan, I will cut you as fast as possible. 45 years old. Don't need fans. Don't even really need friendship. Although going to Pubapalooza changed my trajectory in an enormous way. And I'm thankful for that. Let's get to work here. Thank you, Joseph Gomez. TJ in the house, member for 30 months, says Philadelphia money line today, guys. Same exact situation. Line movement we saw yesterday. Sorry for blowing that C. Oh, you didn't. Come on. You've been phenomenal. That's copied and pasted. All right. Let's get to work here. And let's welcome our guy. And it's, he's a unicorn capper. He can cap every sport, which is a very special skill. And so we use that depending on the schedule. And with our show being pushed back an hour, I'll send him. I'll be like, look, we're going to go this game. We're going to go this sport. He handles everything with the plum. Never an issue. He's always ready to go. But we get to come back to the National Hockey League, which I'm very thankful for. Please welcome star of the Ice Guys, star of the Hitting the Books YouTube channel that's moved on to Major League Baseball, star of the NBA OG show. Please welcome from Hamilton, Canada's black and yellow steel town, Mr. Ian Cameron to the program. Bobano, how are you?
A capper for all seasons. That's what I am. Yeah.
I love it. NHL bets for Razor tonight. Carolina money line and Vegas first period over 1.5. The run, Razor is on a NHL playoff run right now. And I loved our breakdowns a couple days ago as to why Carolina was such a big favorite. And they proved it. Now we're going to go over new breakdowns within that scope of things. So razor sharp picks, that's copied and pasted. And then there's TJ's action. Bobano, let's get right to work, my friend, because we want to squeeze in a couple Major League Baseball games with you as well. We start at 7 p.m. Eastern for the East second round. Carolina up 1-0 on the Washington Capitals. There is a reason, and we broke it down, the 5-on-5 excellence throughout the entire regular season. And what Rod Brind'Amour has been able to do through 7 years. This is a battle-tested hockey team. And we've got some very, very new, different stats to break down why Carolina is where they were. A big favorite in this series. And despite all those stats, I was uncomfortable taking them at that number in game one. You guys know I've been talking bad about the Washington Capitals all season long, and that hurt me. It hurt my bankroll. It hurt me very badly. The Washington Capitals have a lot of character. Should they be a dog of this size is the question. And I wonder if is that. Let's see here. Sorry, we're getting a little bit feedback there. Bobano stopped now, but that's all good. So we have the Carolina Hurricanes now at -163. They opened up at -130. I think -140 is pretty high, but there's so many reasons why they're this big of a favorite. I still, even though I told everybody I was going to fade Washington in the playoffs when they played Carolina, the market is bang on. It's not like the Dallas Stars series from last round where we're getting huge plus money. It's not like the Toronto Maple Leaf backers like Toby Lane getting these huge plus lines with his team at home. It's a real legitimate situation. Toby Lane says this price is out of hand. Let's break this down. And we got Dougie Wise bonus play. Let me get that because I'm on that bet as well. Let me get that here. So let's roll here, Bobano. We have a huge move towards the Hurricanes. In game one of this series, I moved on the under 6. I bet it to 6. I didn't have to. Now I can't. Now it's not available. It's too expensive. So I am moving on the under 5.5 again. And I'm moving on all of the same bets again. And it's because I really believe in them. And that's something I never do. We have a move going to the over. I thought that we still, from the opening line, have gone 5 cents to the under, but I would have gotten a 3 cents better of a line. It was -104 offshore. I decided to send it into my local at -105, but I'm betting it again. And the idea here is that there's no space on the ice. These are veteran teams in an enormously important hockey game, and there's no room out there for anybody to do anything. And when a lot of times with totals, we think zigzag, or sides, we think zigzag. Here, I just want the under again. And I almost kept myself back from doing it, from betting it. We have Freddie Anderson, 13-8-1 in the regular season, .899 save percentage. He's looked excellent in the playoffs. Now, we know he got hurt. We know he's a bit of a China doll. 1.45 goals against average, .935 save percentage. Logan Thompson, he has looked very good in the playoffs. I know he had some hiccups in the second half of the regular season, which kept him out of the Vezina finalists, which we thought he was going to be a part of. But still, .926 save percentage. He looks very good. Carolina's power plays at 27.3%, but that's not why they're here. They're here because they're 17 for 17 on the penalty kill. They are outscoring the opposition while down a man 1-0. That's what they're doing, and it's showing. And Steve G is on the over here, and I was nervous going back to the well, Steve. I could understand why anybody would think that there'll be more goals here. We know this, and we'll talk about this in the second round. Teams that win game one of a best-of-7 series own a .681 winning percentage here. They went 6-2 in the first round. Now, we're not talking about game 2. We're talking about in the series. They win 68% of series. They're 531 and 249. We talked about the Hurricane squad being battle tested. Rod Brind'Amour coached for 7 years. They've qualified for the playoffs all 7 of those seasons, and they've won at least one series in each. Jacob Slavin scored the overtime winner to give the Hurricanes a 2-1 win in game 1 in Washington. That was their 94th attempt. The Washington Capitals had 34 shot attempts. Can you imagine? Here, I think I can fix this here. There we go. Sorry, that was Bobana. That was never you. That was always Jose from Southtown. So I got that fixed.
It's all Jose's fault. It always is.
No, he's class. But can you imagine? I do remember a game. Now, do we have to go back to the Buffalo Sabres with Hasek in net to remember a time when a team would get 60 more shot attempts than their opposition? I mean, the Sabres had to deal with this, and we saw them having to deal with this. Carolina, I watched them get 14 shots on goal. That's the second fewest in the Hartford Whaler Hurricane history. Hurricanes held Washington without a shot on goal for 15 minutes and 50 seconds, from 7:52 remaining in the second till 7:58 in the third. Freddie Anderson gave up an early second period goal to Alexei Protas, who's a monster. He's such a great hockey player. He's going to have such a huge next 5 or 6 years in the NHL. Because remember, Washington is bigger than Carolina. We're going to get into this in a second. Carolina is the only team to remain perfect in the penalty kill this postseason. We've talked about that. They've clearly raised their game in the playoffs, but this is how they've done it. We know the Capitals' height and weight are bigger and heavier than the Hurricanes. In the regular season, the Hurricanes were 30th in the NHL in hits per 60 minutes, 17.15 hits per 60 minutes. They have doubled that in the Stanley Cup playoffs, 34.53. Are you kidding me? That's more than the Capitals, and the Capitals were leading the postseason. 31.35 for the Capitals. Now, Wilson had 6 hits. So the question is, can the Capitals answer back? Ovechkin, who had 4 goals in 5 games in the first round, 1 shot on goal in 17 minutes and 12 seconds. Spencer Carberry, expected to win the Jack Adams Trophy for Coach of the Year. Can he press the right buttons? Table is set, Bobano. I cannot wait to hear your thoughts. Take it away. Game 2 in Washington, D.C., as the Caps host the Canes.
Oh, it was, it's a miracle it got to overtime in game 1 for Washington. I mean, it was flat out suffocation by the Carolina Hurricanes. The shot attempts, there was barely any offensive zone time. It felt like Washington was defending, for 90% of that game. And yet the thing that bothers me still, even after a great performance like that, doubling up Washington in shot attempts, the huge edge in shots on goal, and ozone time and possession. I made this analogy on the Ice Guys yesterday. It's like that the Carolina Hurricanes still need overtime to win that game. How is that possible? How do you not put that team away and win 5-1 with the dominance you had? And that's my concern always with them. It's never easy. Like, it looks great on paper, and the stats, they're just gaudy, and the advanced and the analytic darlings love them, and the advanced numbers look so good. And yet it's life and death to win so many of the games for them. Even in the New Jersey series, a lot of those games weren't easy. Like, they should be winning a game like that 6-1, not going to overtime and winning 2-1. So what's wrong with that? And it's like I said yesterday, it's like the people that they're on the dance floor, they're where they need to be, but they're not dancing. They're talking with other people, and they're not they're on the dance floor talking when they should be dancing. That's the Carolina Hurricanes. They're on the dance floor. They're where they need to be. They're controlling the floor, but they're not dancing. They're not doing enough with where they're at in the offensive zone I'm referring to. That's the problem. And that's always the concern. For a team that's dominating statistically as much as they should, you shouldn't be going to overtime in a game like that. I trust Carberry to make adjustments. I trust the heart of this Caps team. They've shown it all year. They've been good off a loss. I wasn't expecting to be on the full game money line in this game, but I have to be now at the price. But because what I initially was going to be on, and I'm in this game for the show, was the first period looks, because I truly trust Washington to be ready early this time, which they clearly were not in game 1. They had a horrible first period. It was all Carolina. Spencer Carberry lamented it after the game. I thought I was going to have my guys ready, and they clearly weren't. That's definitely a quote that states we need them ready here tonight in game 2 and to get off to a better start. So, and this angle continues to just be just phenomenal here in the Stanley Cup playoffs. The team that loses the previous game, scoring the first goal of the next game, 26-14 in the Stanley Cup playoffs, just to score a goal in the first period, 28-12. So team losing the previous game in a playoff series has scored a first period goal at a 28-12 clip here in the Stanley Cup playoffs. So now with the price at Pinnacle, as wonderful as it is, because of all this money that's come in on Carolina, we can now take Washington to score in the first period at -125. Great price. That's the bet I like the most. Washington first period goal -125. I think they get on the border. I'm still not totally sold on Anderson, quite honestly. Protas was a nice shot that beat him, but no screen, a little off the angle. I would have liked to have seen us. It's not like gotta have that one, but I would like to see him stop that with no screen, and he wasn't able to. And really, Washington didn't generate a whole lot, outside of that for the game. So I think there's still some questions on Anderson. I don't have questions about Thompson. That game only got to overtime because of Logan Thompson. He continues to be great. So I like Washington goal in the first period in this game. Let me see what the price is too for the Washington first goal of the game, because that's been a great record too. The team that losing the previous game, scoring the first goal of the next game. You know what? I'll just stick with the first period goal. That's been even stronger. It's 26-14 for the team losing the previous game, scoring the first goal. It's 28-12 just to score a goal in the first period. So it's been even stronger. So I'll just stick with Capitals goal in the first period, -125. And I will take a shot on that money line. This was not going to be an official play initially where this line was at first. But 30 cents move is a little 40 cents in some spots because I'm seeing -170. A little too much. A little too disrespectful. I get it. Carolina was dominant in game one. Show me they can do it again for a second straight road game. And let's keep in mind, too, in the New Jersey series, did Carolina go into New Jersey against a banged-up, injury-riddled Devils defense and no Jack Hughes? Were they able to go in there and win both road games? No, they were not. No, they were not. I think Washington's got a chance to even up the series, and the value's all with them. I'll take them +155.
Wow. I just sucks that the Ice Guys will be going on while we're going on, because I want to just watch that breakdown. Going up against that move takes huge balls, and it's so exciting.
I wasn't expecting I would, but then I see 40 fucking cents of movement. It's ridiculous now. Totally ridiculous. Yep.
Oh, it's such an exciting bet, man.
It is.
Such an exciting bet.
I love those bets where you just go right heads up against a big move like that.
Toby Lane also on Caps money line tonight.
More often than saying football, basketball, baseball. You've gone up against moves in hockey more than the other sports. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I remember, was tracking this heavy a couple years ago, but when the line moves against me in the National Hockey League, my ROI goes skyrocketing. When the line moves heavily with me, I have a negative ROI. It was the craziest thing. It was an eye-opening thing, and we don't have time to talk about it right now, but I'd love to talk about it. There's a couple things that I'd like to write about, in fact, because I feel like I understand why that is, but again, I digress.
And I'm pouring on the total. I'm passing on the total, as you can tell. I have no bet on that, and I'm perfectly content with that and okay with that, because part of me thinks it could open up more after a very tight game one. And part of me thinks these are two underrated defenses. Anderson, while I still have questions, he was solid, and Thompson's been great. And there was very little pace in that game one, so I could see an under as well for the second straight game. So nothing for me totals wise.
I get it. Washington first period goal, and remember, I mean, this kind of backs up Bobano. I told you guys I was going to fade the Capitals, and I couldn't wait till they played Carolina. And then I saw the market, and I was like, whoa.
Yeah.
Oh, so you mean I'm not going to get a chance to? Now, I'm thankful that I cashed that under in game one, and I'm nervous about putting it in here just because of my confidence in the other games, and we're going to get into it right now. Let's roll into game two, 9:30 p.m. Eastern. We have the West second round game, to Edmonton leading the series 1-0. It's uncanny, and we'll go over it, but it's not just the Oilers. It's the Stars now. I wasn't betting the Stars down a goal against Colorado in certain situations, but I wasn't. I wasn't like, I was nervous about that series. Colorado is a very, very good hockey team. But against Winnipeg, I was like, okay, every time they're down a goal, let's bet them. So we cashed that last night, and we've cashed it 5 straight times with the Oilers. I can't speak for others, but I can just, the live bankroll for me and a bunch of my friends has absolutely exploded. I've cashed out twice, which is something I try not to do. I want to I don't ever want to cash out. I want my unit size to go up, but I've cashed out
when
twice.
they start limiting you and telling you they're closing and suspending your account, which has happened not only to me, but some other people I know, it's worth your while to withdraw every now and then. Absolutely.
That is an interesting point. I've not been held back here. I'm sure I would have if I put all my props in, but I do with my local. And I was asked by a few guys, is your local going to stop you from the?
It's also why I withdraw more often than some people. I make it look like I'm kind of small potatoes here. Make it look so that they don't give me a reason to. I don't give them a reason to say, "Hey, watch it."
It's interesting. It's interesting. But when I was asked about why my local wasn't shutting me down from the player props that we were destroying, he was beyond shocked that I stopped.
No.
Because he saw me go up 7 or 8K last year and then lose about 14 afterwards. He knew he couldn't believe I stopped. He wants me to keep betting them. He doesn't believe, he thinks the market will always correct itself. All right, but let's roll into the Oilers Knights game here, T-Mobile Arena in Las Vegas, Nevada. We have Calvin Pickard, who, sometimes your goalie doesn't need, to be George Vezina. Sometimes your goalie just needs to inspire the group. And Pickard, 5-0, 2.76 goals against average. .891 save percentage, but he has inspired the group. A 33-year-old journeyman, the one we talked about, the one season he played 50 games for that horrible Avalanche team in 2017. He's been all over the place, and he was a second-round draft pick initially. This was a I think it was back in 2010. This was a kid who they believed in. So Pickard against Aiden Hill. Look, Aiden Hill does not look good, and I'd be uncomfortable if I had Knights futures or believed in the Knights in this series. We know that the Knights have a lot of character as a team. Don't get me wrong. But Aiden Hill looks a little shook. The Oilers power play 33.3% in the playoffs. Penalty killing 60.9%. The penalty killing has been a problem. But maybe it was the Kings who just turned it around with those 5 forwards. Maybe. Maybe not. We'll see. So let's get into the line history here. This line has moved against me. And you guys have watched me cap the NHL for years. I don't do this. I don't keep hammering. I sit back with my futures in an enviable situation. I am hammering and hammering and hammering. Every single game Oilers team total over 3. Every single game Oilers money line. This is a team on a mission. I would never, after winning the first game on the road, bet it again in game 2 on the road. I don't think I've ever done it in my life, honestly. I have no recollection of ever in the second round of the playoffs with my team that I have futures on that win game 1 on the road to bet them again in game 2. I don't think I've ever done it. This total is not moved at 6.5 minus 107 to the over. And then on the money line, we have, has it gone back? Oh, good. Oh, it went way back. Holy shit. Okay, good God. So this got up to plus 131. I got plus 121. And I was just not hoping, but I was like, look, I believe in this bet. I believe in this team. I'm just going to take this price that I think is worthy of it. It went up to plus 131, and I was like, what am I doing? It was a plus 131 when I woke up this morning. It got there. And then it got back down to plus 113. Oh, I love that. That is sharp, heavy buyback on the Edmonton Oilers. I love to see it. AM talking about we should wait on lineup information before betting this game, talking about Dorofeev and Pietrangelo. We are going to talk about that here. So again, teams that win game 1 of best of 7 series, Stanley Cup playoffs, win the series 68% of the time. Let's go. Edmonton became the first team in NHL history with 5 consecutive comeback wins in a single postseason. The great thing about this stat that all the Oilers know about, and this looks like a team that is on its way to the Stanley Cup, and the Stars will have something to say about that. But the great thing about this is, you know who they had to pass for that record? The team that they're playing. The team that knocked them out in their city in 2023. Vegas had 4 straight comeback wins in 2023, the year they won the Stanley Cup. The Golden Knights defeated these Oilers there was a lot of anger in the Oilers group. They thought they were better than that, and they defeated them in 6. But here, Hyman scores the go-ahead goal. It was a monster. Connor Brown's goal, the way the jersey was kind of tucked into the side, didn't look like Connor Brown to me for a second, Bobano. That looked like Connor McDavid for a second with the jersey tucked in. Looked a little bit like Gretzky with that jersey tucked in. Connor Brown has a ton of confidence. We watched him go through last year, the toughest year he's ever had to go through, where he just couldn't buy a single goal. Draisaitl scored in the third. Connor McDavid had 2 assists. Vegas only had 15 shots. Now, Mark Stone scored twice, but then the Oilers took over. The Oilers outshot Vegas 12-1 in the second period. Vegas had 7 shots on goal in the final 2 periods, and Vegas lost the playoff game in regulation after leading by at least 2 goals for the first time in franchise history. They're 47-4 in those spots. 3 times they've lost in overtime, but never before in regulation. Pietrangelo is sick. We don't know the extent of it. They're keeping us in the dark. The Golden Knights do have depth. Caden Korczak is a good defender, plus 15 in 40 games regular season. I mean, he's no Pietrangelo, but he 13 minutes and 4 seconds. He got a shot on goal. It wasn't terrible. Now, not having Dorofeyev hurts them. It hurts them. He was their leading goal scorer in the regular season. Olofsson taking his place. It's a drop-off. It's a drop-off. Bobano, take it away. I'm on the Oilers at plus 121, and I'm on the team total over 3, which I got a great price at minus 112. Again, using Ron Crawford's -1 calculator, I got the better line on the 2.5 offshore, and then I needed the book that gives me alt lines. Of course, 365 gives me that. There's better books than that, but I put it together through 2 books using Ron Crawford's -1 calculator. If anybody needs a -1 calculator, please tell us in the chat, and I'll pop it in. Take it away, Bobano. West second round, game 2, Oilers Knights.
Yeah, I have 4 bets in this game, and I've just a weird approach. It's kind of what I liked about game 1. I was on Edmonton in game 1, mostly because the run they've been on, getting their confidence going. They've rallied around Calvin Pickard. And look, this is absolutely amazing what we're seeing right now from this Oilers blue line. I can't believe actually what we're seeing from them with no Matthias Ekholm, who's probably their best guy. And the way was it ugly at the beginning of the Los Angeles series? Absolutely. They were awful. There's no denying that. But there's no question they've gotten better by better, brick by brick, bit by bit. That Edmonton blue line's gotten better. It got better at the end of the LA series. They've adjusted to playing without Ekholm. And are you shitting me to go into Vegas and hold that team to 1 shot on goal in the second period the other night? 12-1 with that blue line without Ekholm? They did that in Vegas? Holy mackerel. What an incredible job. They deserved to win that game. They had a little bit of a shaky start. They took that stupid 4-minute penalty early in that game, and then Vegas added another after. And then after that, they were the better team in the last 40 minutes, period. No question about it. They were just flat out better than Vegas in that game. Pickard made the saves when he had to. And look, he outplayed Hill, quite honestly. Hill, needs to step up a little bit here for Vegas. But I give all the praise, a lot of the praise anyway, to Paul Coffey. I think he has done just an absolutely incredible. I think his influence on this blue line, especially getting them to mold their game as a unit collectively without Matthias Ekholm, has been instrumental in what we're seeing in game 1 the other night and how they've gotten better. That's a Hall of Famer. It's one of the best defensemen in NHL history, if you ask me, Paul Coffey. So to have him on this coaching staff, and it was really a genius move by the Oilers, making him an assistant coach, and finally agreed to. Other teams wanted Paul Coffey to be a coach for them, and for a long time he always refused and declined, but he finally accepted this opportunity with Edmonton, and I think he's done a phenomenal work with this blue line. Look at the way Brett Kulak's playing for them, and he's been good. Emberson's continued to get better. They're actually getting good minutes of John Klingberg, who we left his career for dead, about a year ago, and even he stepped up for them. It's just been remarkable. They're playing with great confidence again. They really want to beat this team, you can tell. They said Connor McDavid didn't hide his feelings. He said, we owe them one for 2 years ago when he was interviewed by Principe over the weekend. So there's no doubt that Edmonton's and I don't think Edmonton's going to come in here feeling satisfied, about being down 1-0. Now, I do think Vegas pushes hard early. I do expect that. But again, Edmonton's become the king of slow starts, bad starts, and find a way to come back. So we are going to be on the first goal or the first period goal with Vegas here. I'm willing to lay the juice. It's a big number at -182. I don't like doing that very often, but 28-12 in the playoffs for a team off a loss, scoring in the first period. So I like it still. -182, Vegas to score in the first period. I'm on the first period over in this game. It went over in the first period of game 1. I expect more of the same here. So over 1.5, -130 with the first period. Full game over 6.5, -105. I'm on that as well. And I'm with you on the Oilers full game money line as well. I think I've got the kind of this thought in mind again where, I expect Vegas down 1-0 at home to have a strong opening 20 minutes, a strong first period, get on the board early. Pickard's been giving up early goals. Edmonton's been giving up early goals. But this Edmonton team does not give up, and they do not flinch now when they fall behind. They showed it against LA. They showed it in game 1 against Vegas. So I kind of think this could be like a lot like game 1, where maybe it's 2-1 Vegas after the first period, and then Edmonton just gets stronger and really has a shot to still win this game and take a 2-zip lead. And I do think the value's with Edmonton. They're playing with confidence, and like I said, this blue line, even without Ekholm, it's just really remarkable to see how they're gelling and getting better with each individual game throughout this playoff run. So best price right now on Edmonton money line appears to be +120. We'll lock that in.
+120 for Bobano and the Oilers. That Paul Coffey stuff was perfectly done. Excellent breakdown there.
Nobody's talking about him.
No one is.
And how are we not talking about Paul Coffey and his influence on making a blue line? This blue line on paper has no business being any good. None. And yet, look at how they've gotten better. And after really bad struggles early in the LA series, look at how they've gotten better with each game. It's I think Paul Coffey's had a big hand in that.
We've got to put a bow on this. We have first pitch in baseball in 25 minutes. And we want to get to that first game at 1:10 p.m. So I'm going to answer a couple questions. For Kong, Ekholm is supposed to come back for round 3. But again, we're not sure. He might not be ready.
Round by round diagnosis right now with him. We know he's out for this series. We'll see in the conference final should Edmonton make it there.
Roy, what I've been doing, and I've been building the threes by using the -1 calculator. You're over 2.5, -170 is a fine price for the 2.5. But you have to use the 3.5 too. There's the -1 calculator right there. You just go to American, depending on win amount, risk amount. For you, I do risk amount. Put it in the 2 lines, and then you get how much to put on each side. So hit that. We have Bobano on the first period over 1.5, Razor on the first period over 1.5, and he's cashed it every single game the Vegas Knights have played so far in the playoffs. So he is going back to the well there. Bobano also on Knights first period goal and the over 6.5 full game. For those of you who want to get in on the Oilers, Bobano, touch on this for a few seconds. I'd say wait. I think there'll be buyback now. I think it'll be, I think there'll be buyback. People will see the Knights at -130 and think, oh, that's a nice line number for -125. So would you tell someone like Roy, whose book's saying +109, just to wait a couple hours?
Yeah, I think that's not a bad approach at all. I think there's a good chance that's going to happen exactly as far as the price movement.
And I am on the Oilers team total over 3 at -112. The 3.5 was +135. I don't want the 3.5. I want the 3 in every game. I want it in every game. It's like my double up, even though I'm betting a unit and a half on these sides now. But I'm just betting a regular unit on the team total here. And then for Kong, who missed it, Bobano's on Washington to score in the first period -125. And he's on the Capitals going up against this huge line move against them. Pulling out the balls and pulling out the bankroll and going up against this line. I'm on the under 5.5 again. I'm on the under 5.5 again. Let's roll into Major League Baseball. Thank you guys for rocking with us in the National Hockey League. I enjoy capping the NHL immensely. Thank you guys here for hanging with us. We have twisted on the Oilers money line and leaning over 6.5, but there is Irish King and others who are on Vegas. Irish King on Vegas in regulation. He's going for the score. So it'll be a lot of fun. AOD on the Oilers and the Capitals. It's going to be a lot of fun there. Also, MMA Price is Right is now available For all members who missed the Locker Room Talk podcast, MMA Price Right, it's a members only video. And also with Swiggy and others behind it, we are now, if you are a member of the channel, going to be sent an email. And that email will have best bets on it. Only if you're a member of the channel. And it will be from a bunch of our best bets. And if you're a member of the channel, you will receive that email. We are working it out, figuring out at what time it will go out and things of that nature. But that is a new thing that Swiggy is quarterbacking, and it's a great idea. So members of the channel will now receive an email every morning with our best bets. And shout out to the Locker Room Talk podcast here. Okay, Wine Time's got his full card in. I'm going to copy and paste that. Here we go. Copy and paste that. And let's get to work. And also, you guys thanking us right now, and it's thank you guys. We're trying to figure out ways to give more to you and more back to you. Thank you for supporting us here and supporting our channel. Let's get into Major League Baseball, and we got to be quick. We have 11 minutes. Welcome, please, to our show. The star of Say Hey Plays here on Saturdays, and the co-host here on Betting with the Bag. Please welcome from our home studio in the Southtown 101 in San Antonio, Texas, our friend, Mr. Jose Bouquet. Jose, how are you, my man? Oh, I muted you when you were off. Sorry. That was me.
You're good. I'm here and I'm ready. Let's get into it.
Let's do it here and let's roll. 1:10 p.m. Eastern. We have the Baltimore Orioles, 13-22, 5-13 on the road to the Minnesota Twins, 17-20, 11-6 at home. We're at Target Field in Minneapolis, Minnesota. Let's get right into the weather here. 62 Fahrenheit, 6.3 miles per hour in. This is a wildly interesting line. Bobano and I believe differently about Dean Kramer. And you could say, well, Bobano's half right and I'm half right. Because Dean Kramer on the road is one of the worst pitchers in baseball so far this season. And Dean Kramer at home is one of the best pitchers in the league so far this season. Now he's on the road. So I'm a believer in Dean Kramer, but I don't know how you can back him at this point on the road. Lefties are hitting 309.880 against him. Righties 232.694. He's coming off a phenomenal performance, but it was at home versus the Royals. Then you have Bailey Ober, who wasn't supposed to pitch today. Spooner has been talking about it's supposed to be Joe Ryan. I guess Joe Ryan has the flu, but this is regular rest for Ober because of a day off. Ober is pitching very well. So I would think, with Kramer on the hill and his inability to pitch on the road, Ober is pitching so well, and he's pitching so well at home. His splits, he gets hit, but not a lot of barrels, not a lot of heavy hits on him. Orioles versus righties, 247-759, huge advantage over Twins versus righties, 244-697. The Orioles bullpen is terrible. The Twins bullpen is a huge advantage there. Why I didn't come in with action, I feel like I know these pitchers so well. And this line that moved towards the Baltimore Orioles when it came out, I can't, again, we all have different ways of capping, and some people see this line for 12 hours, it moved, so opening at 151, moved 14 cents away from the Twins. Now it came back. It came all the way back here. We have an 11-cent move to the Twins. But that first 12-hour move, maybe it's maybe I put too much into it, and I know that Bobano doesn't care about these moves, but it got me off of this spot. And Spooner is on the Baltimore Orioles here. And then to add to it from the total, this total opens up at 8. I think these pitchers are capable of pitching well. The weather is helpful. It goes up to 8.5. Now it did come back to 8, but now it's back at 8.5. It's not the most legit 8.5. But all of that concerns me. Irish King says Kramer is dog shit. TJ says Kramer is poo-poo. Says it a little nicer. Says you can't be the best at home after 2 starts. Let's just pull this up here and look. I'll pull it up and have because we need to hear from Bobano. Bobano will be hitting leadoff on this spot, but his performance at home has been very good. It's been very good. It's hard to not, to get away from that. And also it is not being, I guess the Guardians and the Royals are easy to get up against, but he's gone 12 in the third and he's allowed 1 earned run. But I hear you guys. You guys can shit all over Kramer. I'm not going to stick up for this. They're saying that Taint is in. I'll let Jose talk about Taint. I do not have Taint. But take it away here for us. Take it away, Bobano, Orioles Twins.
I'm not overthinking this. Twins team total over 4.5 plus 100. I mean, here's Kramer on the road right now this year. He's been just brutal. 5 runs the Jays scored against him, 8 runs for KC, 9 for Arizona, 7 for Washington, 7 for Detroit. I mean, these teams are smashing their team total against Kramer in those road starts. And I know Minnesota's lineup can frustrate you sometimes. They've obviously had a inconsistent season, but in this series, we've started to see the bats come to life. There's no doubt having Royce the 5'9" Lewis back helps as well for this Twins team, but 14 runs now for them in the first 2 games of this series. It's actually these are normally the spots I like to back a team like Baltimore because they're trying to avoid a sweep. That's why I was on the Reds last night with Hunter Green. I thought it was, they don't want to get swept by Atlanta. They had the right guy on the mound. Dean Kramer's not the right guy, though, especially with the way he's pitched on the road. So I'm not going to overthink it. Twins should get to 5. The bullpen's been awful for the Orioles. You mentioned it. Twins team total over 4.5, even money, plus 100.
Twinkies team total over 4.5 at plus 100 for Bobano. Jose Bouquet, Orioles Twins.
I've got nothing in this game, really. I will mention that Taint is the Orioles. Matty Ice. By the way, he sent it to both of us now, so that's nice. But yeah, nothing here for me. I wasn't too interested in this game market-wise. We have 57% of the bets on the Orioles, 62% of the money on the Minnesota Twins, and 88% of the bets, 95% of the money on the under in this game. And it really has not gone down much. I'm seeing 8.5 was juiced to the under. I'm seeing some 8s pop up, so that's a good sign if you're on the under at the least. But no action here for me.
Well, good thing Bobano has delivered for us because I am off of this spot. And so good thing Bobano's got the Twins team total over 4.5. We got 1 game left with Bobano. I'll be much faster getting to it. Bobano, thank you for rocking with us here. Twins team total over 4.5 at plus 100. Next spot on the board for us. Oh, instead, actually, Ian, is there anything that you want to, any games that you would like to talk about? Is there any best bets, or do we roll in the Rangers Red Sox?
Jeez, I hate this card today. Actually, that's probably one of my better bets of the day. Best bets of the day was that Twins team total. Honestly, I think this card's not very good. Quite honestly, I wanted Atlanta. I think the price is too expensive. I'm kind of interested in Texas, but lighter in a ballpark like Fenway. I think I still need to see a little bit more. Although there's a lot of stats that point to positive regression for lighter for Texas. That he's actually a little bit better than his current ERA suggests. I mean, White Sox, Royals, you could only bet under with those 2 lineups right now. I think it's a good spot for the Jays. Bassett, Soriano's a bit hit or miss, but gosh, laying a price with the Jays, they just find ways to lose. That's an absolutely horrendous loss last night by the Toronto Blue Jays in that game. So I'm not even rushing to bet that. There's really one bet that I will. It's another team total. I think I will go ahead with it in the night slate. Philadelphia Phillies team total over 4.5. I mean, they're just mashing the baseball right now. Pepio has not exactly been in phenomenal form of late, and the Rays just aren't hitting right now. You could actually go with the Phillies money line or run line if you want, but right now I'm just not enamored with what I'm seeing from Tampa Bay or a lot of their pitchers that I expected to be. Like Shane Baz has kind of gone downhill a bit. Pepio hasn't been nearly as effective and efficient as I liked. And right now the Phillies are just hitting the baseball right now. So to be able to get their team total over 4.5 minus 115, I'm on that as well.
Phillies team total over 4.5 minus 115. I can't wait to talk about that game because Pepio is not being as good as we expected here, and the Rays have had difficulties against lefties, enormous difficulties against lefties. We'll touch on that. Bobano also on the Twins team total over 4.5 at plus 100. Ian, thank you for rocking with us. Let us know the live schedule for live streams for the Ice Guys. Is it possible? Are there any Mondays or anything like a Friday, Saturday? Is there anything like that that's a possibility in the future? Or are we only focusing on the Thursday night live streams?
No, I mean, certainly we're on 7 days a week, Monday to Friday, 2 p.m. Eastern, Saturday and Sunday, noon Eastern. Every game day we'll be on. And then we've got, of course, the live betcast. We got another one tonight at 7 p.m. Eastern time for the 2 games, Caps and Canes and Oilers and Golden Knights. So we're looking forward to that. So make sure you check out the Ice Guys show again for the remainder of the playoffs every single day. Of course, the NBA OG Crew betting show Monday to Wednesday and Friday. 4 p.m. Eastern, 3 p.m. Eastern actually on Friday, but 4 p.m. Eastern Monday to Wednesday. And then C-Mac and I with the MLB show hitting the books Monday to Wednesday and Friday at 5 p.m. Eastern, 2 p.m. Pacific. So check it all out. Keep it up here with these guys, Jose and Jimmy, for the rest of the MLB card. Shout out to the chat. Good luck tonight. Good luck to you guys. And we'll see you next week.
There he is, Mr. Ian Cameron here rocking with us. I am enormously relieved, Jose, that this Orioles and Twins, the Kramer and Ober, I honestly feel like I've watched these two guys pitch more than any other pitchers in Major League Baseball over the last 2 years, especially Ober. I've been, my ROI with him, it always seems the first half of the year is bad and then he starts improving. I'm very, very thankful here that I'm not involved in it. But Bobano is. Twins team total over 4.5. Jose, let's talk about your Boston Red Sox. Let's talk about your Boston Red Sox next. And we have Ronnie Crawford, Big Ron Crawford, with his spreadsheet play of the day on the Boston Red Sox. If those of you who are using headphones, we're going to get some hard rock now. I've been told that I should warn people about the hard rock.
I can see how that could be jarring.
Yes. The Jerry Davis says the movement was about Minnesota playing roulette with the starters. I had 2 different K-pops from Minnesota, never seen it before. I do not think, personally. Now, look, you don't want to ask me about Bailey Ober. I'm a Bailey Ober fan. I don't think the difference between Joe Ryan and Bailey Ober is much. Is that ridiculous?
I don't either.
Okay. Because I know some people would think Joe Ryan is the next coming of fucking who's a strong righty. Yeah, well, he's very different than Greinke, but yeah. So but I hear what you guys are saying. I'm very comfortable. You know, we heard. Oh, by the way, another thing. We got some messages to go out today. Yes, a horse race today, Gerald, my man. I don't know if it'll be horses, greyhounds, or camels. But Taint play of the day, which is the Baltimore Orioles. We have some a new song created by none other than Matt Randall, which we will be debuting Friday, tomorrow. But we have a very, very cool original track for us, created by Matt Randall, star of the Taint play today. Taint is in, and Taint is the Baltimore Orioles. Texas Rangers, Boston Red Sox, Fenway Park in Boston, Massachusetts. We also look at all this action here in this game. We had Taint for Baltimore. We had Ron Crawford MLB play today on the Boston Red Sox. And we also have the Stacks play of the day. Devers. It is a Devers over 1.5 bases for our Justin McKelvey.
Stacks, 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 stacks. Stacks, 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 stacks.
And not only that, but our next guest is ready to join us and rock with us here. Fresh off board sweepage 3-0 plus 3.2 units last week. And we are extremely excited to finally get to officially announce the brand new show on our channel. Jose, do we have it up here? My eyes are.
Yes.
There it is right there. Walk Off Wagers every Sunday at 11 a.m. Eastern.
Say it, Jimmy. Say what you comes out at you at this thumbnail. There's something that really just sticks out and it's tickled, Jimmy.
No, I've got nothing to say. I got nothing to say about it.
Nothing to say. Nothing at all. Okay. All right. He's got nothing to say. He's got nothing.
Please welcome Morgan Spooner to the show. Spooner, what up, man? How are you?
I mean, I think that's the illicit reaction we're hoping to get from a thumbnail. So I think we hit it right there. So what would be the title you would put with the picture if you weren't going to put walk-off wagers and you saw that picture? Because it seems like something else might be coming.
Troy, we wanted pictures from Wine Time. Look, a lot of us aren't picture takers, man. A lot of us don't want to be in pictures. Look, that was we asked Wine Time for pictures.
You think I'm just looking around for these pictures, Troy? I'm gonna go find a picture of Wine Time fucking looking like he's going out for a wildlife safari real quick.
I always think, like, because for thumbnails and pictures, show it to a girl, show it to somebody who's not in our realm. I showed it to my wife. She loves it. She's like, yeah, Wine Time looks great. So there we go.
So fuck you, Troy. How about that?
No. Let's not set off Troy. This battle you guys have going, not.
Yeah, he's slow. He's old. He can't do it anymore. Jimmy's washed up. All
right, let's get to work here. 1:35 p.m. Eastern with the Texas Rangers, Boston Red Sox. White that says it was Cowboy Night at Angel Stadium.
It's a great hat. It's a great bucket hat. It's a great picture. I love it, Wine.
Okay, let's stay focused here. Rangers, Red Sox. Now, look, as we talk about, there's so many different ways of looking at capping. And I love the psychological, background of a bet. And I told you guys that after Leiter's spectacular start, getting the blister, watching for 15 days, that he was going to come back and not look good, that he's a head case. We know he's a phenomenally talented, enormous potential pitcher, but we saw it when he came up last year. He wasn't ready for it. Then they set him up to succeed, and then he got the blister, and he comes back, and at home, he allows 6 earned runs, 8 hits, and 4 1/3. I want to fade him, but it's not really. I really think that Brian Bayo has matured. And I need Jose to touch on that. It feels like we're looking at a much more mature pitcher on the mound. Bayo 2-0, 2.55 ERA, 1.19 WHIP. Not trying to strike out too many batters. I know it's only been 17 2/3, and he's allowed 3 home runs, but he's 12 Ks, 7 walks, not the K to walk ratio we hope for. But that last performance against the Twins at home was a thing of beauty. I mean, he allows the solo shot, 6 2/3, 5 Ks, just 1 walk. Lefties have a little more power against them, but a lower average. Righties are hitting 250, 697 OPS. Rangers versus righties, they're just not hitting 236, 666 OPS. Red Sox versus righties, 254, 752. And both bullpens are very similar. This Rangers bullpen had been good for a while and is not playing well right now. Troy Torrance, Red Sox, and Red Sox first 5 money line. I find that extremely interesting, and I can't wait to talk about the game. 72 Fahrenheit feels like 71, 4.5 miles per hour, right to left and slightly in, gets up to 5.4 miles per hour. From a total scenario here, we have a 9. It's minus 111 to the over. This opened up at 9, got up to 9.5, came back to 9. At this point, we had like a 3 or 4 cent move towards the under. On the money line, we have the Texas Rangers at plus 142. They opened up at plus 120. Just a monstrous move towards the Boston Red Sox from minus 133 to minus 154. The market is speaking to us here. I'll let you touch on the cash flow, and I'll let you tell us about Bayo and the Boston Red Sox. Take it away, Jose.
Yeah, so I agree with you that I think he has matured. I mean, obviously, as the years goes on, he will mature. But I think one of the biggest factors was him having his family now in the country last year. His baby mama and baby were not allowed in the country, visa issues. They figured all that out, so they're now in the country. And I think that's just a big thing to have off of his weight of his shoulders, worrying about your family constantly. Now he has them there. I think he's more focused on baseball. I've been on Brian Bayo, I don't know, I guess. I've been on him in the fact that I've been saying he's going to have a good year this year. I've been repeatedly saying that. And the price, the opening price I thought was crazy. And now obviously it's adjusted itself by being exploded with Red Sox money here. 72% of the bets, 63% of the money on the Red Sox. So maybe some slightly bigger Texas Rangers bets out there. 78% of the bets, 88% of the money on the under in this game. I leaned under personally as well. I just didn't trust the Rangers bullpen. And I like the Red Sox here as well. Troy, you'll be shocked to hear that. I think I'm going to have the Red Sox as a part of a parlay, a 2-leg parlay. I only have three. Well, I have 2 plays locked in. I think it'll be a 3-play kind of day for me with the parlay. But the Red Sox, as of right now, are going to be the first half of a parlay for me.
I find this all very, very appealing. Let's hear from our guy, Morgan Spooner, star of Walk-Off Wagers every Sunday at 11 a.m. Eastern, right here on Pub Sports Radio. Morgan, take it away, my man.
Yeah, I lay on the other side of this from Jose. I actually moved on the Rangers. I got plus 130. I texted Troy this morning, and I was trying to figure out if this line was going to move because I saw the money on Boston, but there hadn't been any reaction from the book yet, and I was hoping to not lose money there. And Troy said wait, and it ended up moving 15 cents like he said it would, and that 130 is right there. You were talking about the Texas Rangers numbers. Their lineup has not been healthy. You have Corey Seager missing half of the year. You have Langford missing time. It makes it hard to put together a healthy lineup every day, and the numbers kind of reflect that. But I think the Rangers are getting healthy, and the Red Sox are losing bats out of their lineup right now. The Rangers are going to stack 5 lefties here today against Bayo. I think that creates a huge problem. Jack Leiter off a bad start. I believe in him. You always talk about highly touted picks eventually showing up. I don't think everybody was wrong about Jack Leiter. I think he's a really good pitcher, and I think it's some good value here. I think Red Sox bullpen is also another thing we can take advantage of. They've given up so many leads this year. That's about it. I'm on Rangers plus 130.
I think Jack Leiter is going to figure it out. We saw it right off the hop this year. Jose, you were so heavy against Leiter. You wanted to back him. You did. He looked great. He made you money. He got a blister. He came back and looked terrible. What is your expectation of Jack Leiter here today, Jose?
I do expect him to pitch well. Personally, I think this is a Rangers bullpen collapse. I expect 5 innings of good ball from Jack Leiter. If they decide to bring him out in the 6th inning, I think he'll get touched up in the 6th inning. But I expect 5 solid innings. 5 1-earned run maybe. I mean, the market's saying under in this game too. Obviously there's bigger bets and more bets on the under. We've gone from a 9.5 to a 9. So.
Yeah, but this opened up at 9, right?
I'm seeing. Let me refresh here again because I'm seeing 9.5. It's used to the under, so again, you can say it's a 9, but yeah, I'm seeing 9.5.
Because this opened offshore.
This is where we play poker at, so we know that they open up those shits early. Heritage have 9.5 again, juice to the under, but.
So how fast did it take them to move it to 9?
Heritage, they moved it to 9.
I don't care about Heritage. I don't care. I'd like to know from Bet Online. I can look at it here.
They 2:31. They had it at 9.5, and then at 10:43 this morning, 9.
Okay. And what is keeping you off the total, Spooner?
I don't like to get in totals unless I have a really good edge on it. I don't know. The volatility of this game could go really either way. I trust Jack Leiter to pitch well here. I don't necessarily think Bayo's going to continue to pitch well, and I think the lefties in this Rangers lineup can expose him. But if I'm wrong about Leiter, that over really comes into play. But I think an under would be my lean if I was going to take one. Look at where we're at. Fenway Park is plus 7% runs today and minus 11% on home runs on Ballpark Pal. I don't know, not enough to change anything. Wind's not going to be a huge factor, but
I guess
I didn't have a strong lean on that.
Leiter just is not okay. I
think there's just so many advantages to take advantage of Red Sox pitching here that I had to get on the Rangers on that plus 130 kind of value.
Yeah, and now you get plus 142. Okay, I'm going to be in the Red Sox in some form. Jerry Davis says Bayo's expected numbers are trash. I'm going to be on Rangers in some form. I'm just deciding exactly 1 unit or 2 units. I'm deciding, like Mr. Belvedere on the Red Sox -1, TJ on the Red Sox -1. I'm going to be on that. The decision is, do I add the double result? And I'm not sure. I've got to make that decision here in about 21 minutes, and I will do just that. Okay, let's roll on. Kong says the definition of my MLB season, Hunter Green over 7.5 strikeouts is 6 through 3 innings and pulls his groin. I was quite nervous in the second inning, and I imagine a lot of you guys do this as well. So with my live betting, I want the opposition to be going up to bat. If I'm betting against them, it gives me the best line. It was 2-0. It was 2-0 Cincy, and I was on Atlanta pregame and the first 3 under 2. So I knew those bets were, especially the first 3 under 2, in peril. I took the live under 9.5, and I get the 2.5, right? Because the opposition, if I make that bet when the Braves are going up to bet, it's a 1.5. And my thought, was that I was going to get a decent inning. We were I think it was 9-8-9-1 or whatever. So I got the plus 2.5, and again, that saves the action, and I'll do that on every game that I cap. If something goes wrong early, just a homer, I'm going to try and get in again, and it's been extremely helpful. Let's roll on to the next spot on the board here: White Sox, Royals. We have Davis
Jim,
Martin. Yeah.
Before we do that, I moved on Orioles plus 132. Put that on the show record, plus 130. I know you guys already hit that game. I don't have to go too much into it. I like the lineup changes for the Orioles. I think they match up well with Bailey Ober's 90-mile-an-hour fastball, and Minnesota's dealing with a little bit of lineup changes themselves too. I think the wind will help Kramer today. I see minus 20% for home runs on Ballpark Pal. I think Kramer is a better pitcher than what his numbers have shown this point. Let's get on to this Royals game. Sorry about that.
No, that was great because I already had that locked in for you, and we talked about it, but we didn't hear your angle. So that was great. Thank you for that. We have Davis Martin versus Chris Bubich. I've cashed first 3 under 2.5s in the last 2 games against these 2 squads, and they've been no sweaters. I went 2-1 yesterday. I didn't update the spreadsheet, but I mean it's rolling, and I do have concerns about the warmer weather and it changing, but Davis Martin has looked quite good this year, coming off an 8-3 loss at home versus the Astros. I know a lot of people don't believe in him. I see an improving pitcher. And TJ says 3 in a row. First 3 and full game under for TJ. Davis Martin, 5 innings, 8 hits, 3 earned runs, 1 homer, 5 Ks, no walks, that 8-3 loss. 26 Ks, 11 walks. He's never been a strikeout guy. Lefties are hitting 207, 706 against him. It's righties that are getting to him. 326, 862 OPS. We have the lineup up: India, Witt, Pasquantino, Perez, Garcia, Massey, Renfroe, Waters, and Furman. So you're only going to have 2 left-handed bats. Waters, the switch, you will hit from the right side. And then for the White Sox, their lineup in and submitted, going up against Chris Bubich, coming off a 4-0 loss at the Orioles. The Orioles didn't touch him. No one runs. We know the Orioles have had a lot of difficulty against lefties. Bubich looks great. 1.98 ERA, 1.12 whip, 40 strikeouts in 41 innings. The impressive part, he's only allowed 2 home runs in those 41 innings. White Sox are hitting just 217, 601 versus lefties. Royals just 242, 677 versus righties. White Sox bullpen 4.44 ERA, 1.35 whip, much better than last year. Royals bullpen looks really good. 2.93 ERA, 1.21 whip. Let's take a look at the weather, pull up the line history, and Spooner will get us started here. 72 Fahrenheit, feels like 68, 8.9 miles per hour in, gets up to 9.8. The wind coming in gets stronger as the game goes on. When we get to the line history, there is an 8.5 that I'm looking at right now. And this is, I guess some actually, most books have this juice to the under. This total's gone from 8 to 8.5. That's the reason why I'm not already on the first 3 under. Obviously, hearing TJ on it piques my interest. On the money line here, we have Bubic and the Royals at minus 240. They open up at minus 240, which tells me that Davis Martin is going to pitch okay. It also tells me that there is some expectation of volatility. And this happened in this game yesterday. When we were talking about it, it went up to 8.5. By the time I'm staring at it at 5:30, it was back at 8. It was back from Wentz. And I said, okay, I'll move on to 2.5. Maybe this happens again, but we're less than an hour away from first pitch. Take it away, Spooner. White Sox, Royals.
So this line was too heavy for me to want to try to back the Royals. I think Bubic is a really good pitcher. I think he continues to pitch well. Davis Martin on the other side. I think he has the potential to have a good season here. He plays on a shit team, but I think he can keep runs off the board. I think this just screams under to me. I see the wind blowing in here at Kauffman. If you can't hit home runs here, it's hard to score runs. I don't know. That movement on the total is a little bit in my face there. So I haven't moved. If I was going to move, it would just be that under. I wouldn't want to put it to that first few innings. I like that full game. Just over 9 innings. I don't see these two teams, these two offenses with the ability to put 9 runs up on the board. If they do, it's the Royals just hitting 7 home runs. But with the wind blowing in like that, you're going to have less home runs today than you normally would. And I think this is a good underlook, but it's just not for me.
I get it. Jose, that's my MLB record from yesterday. So it's so important to have the transparency. I went 4-5 yesterday. So my record is not as good. So if you don't worry, but if you could pop it up for the next game, I just want everyone to know, just that it's important to me. And I can't see, I'm blind. I have to look at the YouTube down here to see the record. I would have said it or off the top. Phil the Kill says under 8.5 all day here. Royals can't even hit against the Sox bullpen. TJ is Boston money line with first 3 rolls under 3.5. I wonder, honestly, if I'm just putting too much emphasis on the market in these spots, but why on earth is this gone from 8 to 8.5? I mean, because you can't even blame it on but there's nothing. There's not one outlier here except for, I guess, Davis Martin. Jose Bouquet, take it away. White Sox Royals.
Yeah, I'll keep this one short. I really don't have much on this game. I again would lean White Sox because I think minus 230 is absurd for any Royals game personally, but I just couldn't get there. So I ended up staying off. Market in this game, 83% of the bets, 83% of the bets are on the under, 73% of the money on the over in this game. So if I had to make a bet in this game, it would be over. Those bets have pushed, and let me double check here where this total opened up, because I'm seeing some places open up this at 8, and we're seeing 8.5s now. So I lean over with that movement and the amount of money on the over there. 81% of the bets, 92% of the money on the Royals here. And I just think the White Sox could be live in this game. But it's a high volatility game, allegedly, with an over, so I'm off.
Yeah, I'm going to keep the plan together. I completely agree with you guys, and TJ being on it. That should probably be enough for me to roll with it, but I'm going to try to ensure. Now, again, if I had not sat there and looked at all the notes from the show and sat there for 2 hours, 3 hours, going over everything while I put my action in yesterday, I wouldn't have been seen it go back to 8 and moved on the first 3 under 2.5. I'm going to let go and cheer you guys on. Let's roll on. And Davis Martin to allow over 5.5 hits is my dude's second play of the day. Number 1 is Phillies money line. And TJ says, stick with what works for you. Look, I said it yesterday, and I'll say it again. I have a lot to prove in Major League Baseball, and for you guys and with you guys. So I'm still. I'm not sitting here. I don't have a ton of confidence in MLB, and I fear MLB. And okay, let's go on to the doubleheader, which I'm very interested in. Unfortunately, Jose, I'm going to get my Red Sox action in. So can you set up this Casey Mize, Kyle Freeland doubleheader? I'll be listening, and I'm going to get my action in for. And I am going to double down on the Red Sox double result and -1, and that's. I'm going to move on. So, can you take it away, Jose, my man?
Yes, Kyle Freeland, Casey Mize here. We'll start with Freeland off the top here. His last few appearances at the Giants, 6 innings, 7 hits, 3 earned runs, 1 home run allowed there. Cincinnati at home, 4 1/3, 10 hits, 6 earned runs. And before that, only went 2 innings against the Nationals, 3 runs, 1 of them earned there. Freeland, not a guy I like backing home, road, eats innings for these Rockies. Just not a guy I like backing personally. On the other side, Mize had been pitching like one of the best pitchers in baseball for a while. 1 earned run in his previous 2 before his last start. His last start went 7 strong against the Angels, but gave up 4 earned runs, 2 home runs allowed, 4 strikeouts, 2 Ks. Again, the rest of his starts have been pretty solid. 1 earned run, gave up 4 earned runs at the Twins, 1 earned run against the Yankees, and shut out against the Seattle Mariners to start his year. Rockies lineup should be pretty cushy for him as well. We'll check the splits here real quick. Righties 293 average against him, but lefties 145 here. So as a old Jimmy the Bag would say, let us find out who the righties are in this Rockies lineup. Brendan Doyle. Is that interesting? Brenton, I should say. Jordan Beck. Hunter Goodman. Alon Trejo. And they have Michael Toglia, who's been horrible this year, and Adele Amador hitting switch. Point is, this lineup is not very fearsome for Casey Mize here. He should be able to go through it. I'm interested to see how he's done in Coors in his career, so we'll do that research right now. But let's talk about where the money is in this game here real quick as well. So we'll start off with the side here. We've got 81% of the bets, 84% of the money on Detroit, kind of unsurprisingly there. 69% of the bets are on the under in this game, but 53% of the money are on the over in this game. So that's fascinating stuff right there. Line opened up at -175 here. Where we used to play poker, opened it up there, got up to -190 at 8 a.m., 9 a.m. this morning, and then has plummeted down to -160 for Detroit here. Very fascinating move there. Total 10 juice to the under. And even the 9.5s are starting to show up on the board here as well, which is very interesting, even with all of that money on the over there. So like I said, 53% of the money on the over, but only 69% of the bets. So I shouldn't say only, but 69% of the bets on the under. Fascinating stuff there. I'm not personally, like I said, going to move on this game. By the way, Mize has faced the Rockies once, but it was at Detroit. So he's not pitched in Coors. Not a spot I like backing pitchers, as many of you guys know. End of the day, might as well. It might be Rockies if I had to bet this game, but nothing here for me.
Spooner, you want to take it away?
Yeah. So I looked at the Rockies in this doubleheader. Sometimes I think there's a lot of value just taking the dog in both games of this, especially because the Tigers used a good chunk of their bullpen yesterday. Casey Mize is a really good pitcher, but he only relies on his fastball itself about 30% of the time. So then he's got to get 4 other pitches to try to work in Colorado. And I think a lot of people have a hard time doing that in the course of their career. And I think the Rockies could probably get to him. There's not enough in that lineup, like you guys said, for me to really want to do it. I couldn't back the Tigers. It's too expensive for me. Maybe if you get through a couple turns of the lineup, a live bet might be something you can get in, but I am a little bit scared of Casey Mize here at Coors, so I just laid off this game.
Fair enough. By the way, I will tease everyone. I have a max bet that I put in, not in baseball, but the max my bookie will allow me to put on my local, I guess I should say specifically, will allow me to put on one bet. So we will talk about that bet later on in the program. So stay tuned for that. But Jimmy, what do you have to say about this game? Very interesting one.
Well, what you just said is very interesting. Are you able to call in and bet higher than that? Or
Probably, yeah. I could text them or whatever and ask. But yeah, my max bet, I should say.
Well, I've got the same thing. I've got to call in if I want to go over $500.
Yeah, mine's definitely not $500, but we'll talk about that all very short. Well, I guess not very shortly, but shortly.
Well, I think this line move. Okay. Maybe it's why I don't succeed in baseball enough. Because these journeyman pitchers, I believe in at times. I believe in Freeland at home. Your angle with the pitcher never pitching at Coors got me paid yesterday on the first three going up against the 22-year-old Jackson Jobe. And here we have Casey Mize, a pitcher I really like, who's much older, 4 years older than Jobe, at least maybe 5, at least 4. Now pitching his first time here. I cashed on the first 3 under 2 in Freeland's last start. I believe it was Freeland Verlander, but I forget exactly who Freeland was going up against, but that was in San Francisco. And I have a bias because I've watched him pitch very well at that ballpark. And it's righties that destroy him. And righties right now, 345, 847 OPS. And when we take a look, at the righties here that we expect, where are they?
I mean, they're there, but they're not name brand guys. It's like fucking buying the off brand fucking Wheaties when you're talking Rockies lineup right now. Fuck.
No, TJ's saying a line move when the lineup was released. Yes, you're right.
I would also say though, like, is the line really going to move 20 fucking cents, 25 cents for a lineup change? I just don't think that. I don't think there's one person in baseball, not Ohtani, not even Judge, that can move a lineup 25 cents. And I know it's Riley Green and someone else, so 2 guys, but still, I think I'm not betting this game, so I don't feel too strongly about it. But I think that line movement is more Rockies going to be in this than lineup personally for me.
And I love Casey Mize. But I'm comfortable going up against him here. And I also think that it's too expensive. I mean, okay, there's 2 things. One, I could make this a 5-inning bet and then take the first 5 plus a half. That is a option. And maybe that should be bet. Or I could just take the first 3 Colorado Rockies at plus 120 with the expectation that Freeland pitches well.
Apparently, this first 5 line opened up at minus 165 and is now down to minus 130. Heritage had minus 160 down to minus 140. Same thing with bookmakers. So I do like that first 5 look. I'll tell you that.
I definitely am not going to double up on this, though. I will have to decide between first 3 at plus 120 or first 5. And I prefer these first 3s when you can you get me through 3 innings with this terrible baseball team? The first 3s. I mean, even yesterday the Rockies first 3 cashed, but the first 5 didn't. So I'm going to move on the Rockies and Freeland early. I just don't know which one. That's all. And we don't have
plus a half. Plus a half for me is minus 120. What is it for you?
Well, that is the same at 365. I have that up here, but I'll pull up Penny here in a second.
That's just gross to bet.
Well, it's just these books screw you. Like that's you have to have an account with the book that I use for line shopping. You have to, because it's only because of the first 5 plus a halves and minus halves. I mean, it's unbelievable. The difference is sometimes it's over 20 cents. It's just unbelievable. It just
And
never.
and that's one of those things that you say, dog into a favorite kind of scenario. I don't want to lay the juice for this.
I use minus 120 is a max for that now. I didn't used to. But right now, the Rockies plus. Oh my God, it's the same here. Wow.
I think I'm going to move on the plus a half, I guess. I don't love laying, again, minus 120 when betting the fucking Colorado Rockies. But I'll roll first 5 plus a half here. It just seems like Casey Mize is going to get touched up here today.
Wow. I've not seen the same line at these two books ever on first 5 plus a half. That must mean that it's moving.
Ron Lofton has minus 115 at MGM.
Okay. Again, time is a factor here, so let's roll. Let's roll on. The double header is a mess. Game 2. We don't know. We expect it to be a bullpen day for the Detroit Tigers in the second start, but it is Keider Montero who's listed at some books. But I mean, if it was Keider Montero, wouldn't we know that? Not some books, sorry, some sites. Wouldn't we know that if it was Keider?
I think so.
You would think, and so we don't know that. And then we have Tanner Gordon. So why don't we touch on Tanner Gordon here, and then just do a little bit of due diligence for Game 2, so that depending on what you see in Game 1, you can hammer it. 6th round pick in the 2019 draft out of Indiana. We have him pitching this year, the entirety, 6 starts in Albuquerque in the Pacific Coast League. Very tough place to pitch. 4.82 ERA and a 1.5 whip, which really isn't that bad. The 22 Ks, 6 walks, 22 Ks in 28 innings. He pitched in the majors last year. He had 8 starts and he got destroyed.
Jimmy, I'm sorry to interrupt. I forgot to say this earlier, and I guess the game's about to start. I'm gonna go official with that parlay that I was talking about with the Red Sox. The parlay is Red Sox, Braves plus 150.
We have a 1-1 game too in Minnesota, Baltimore. Nanya just hit nice cold exacta at golf. I love it. Go get it.
But yes, it's the 2 spots where the line has moved in the favor of the favors pretty heavily. But apologies. Yeah, go ahead.
No worries. I don't think we need to spend too much time on this one. The Game 2 Rockies, they opened up here at plus 154. They're now at plus 160. The Tigers have gone from minus 171 to minus 179. If the Tigers somehow no-show in Game 1, I imagine it would be an immediate run to go bet them on the minus
Probably.
1 line.
I would say that they'd go up to minus 180 if they lose Game 1, like I think.
Yeah. This total is not moving at the 11 here. There's not much to say about this spot. Jose, is there anything you want to say here? And then we'll see if Spooner wants to touch on anything. Anything here for Game 2?
No action, but I'll just quickly say that in Game 1, there is 81% of the bets, 84% of the money on the Tigers, and 69% of the bets on the under, 52% of the money on the over in Game 1. But no action here and no line or no bet percentage in this game so far.
Let's do it. NHL play today for just my 2 cents is the Washington Capitals. MLB play of the day is a Royals Tigers. I imagine that's Game 1. Royals Tigers, a money line parlay for our guy. Just my 2 cents. So let's thank you, my man. Go get it. TC AM is on unders for both games and the Tigers for both games. And another thing, and I watched TJ do it to perfection last night because I was on the Rockies first 3. It was 5-3 after 3, and he immediately bet the Tigers live. And I imagine if that situation arises here with Game 1, that it would be something that we might want to attack. Let's move on here. But Spooner, anything you want to touch on in Game 2 of the double dip?
Yeah, I see some books already moving this line past 180 to 190 even. I think that's a clear indication that Jimmy's on the sharp side in that first game. The Tigers are committing this game to their bullpen. They used 4 pieces of it that are important yesterday. So that means they have to split the rest of their bullpen between 2 games and still be ready to hit the road. So I really like the Tigers in the second game here. If you find a way to get a better price on it, maybe live bet it kind of thing like you're talking. I got on the Tigers last night too. It was really sweaty. The White Sox had so many opportunities to win that game. It was terrifying. But yeah, I haven't moved on anything yet. If I would, it would be the Tigers live.
God, I hate this. I hate when I don't want to bet 2 units, and I feel like out of laziness in that game one, I just bet the first 3 and the first. You can't do that on a Rockies game. No one, you can't put 2 units on the Colorado Rockies. I feel that it's probably the first 5 plus a half, but then I can't. You know what? I'm not. I'm going to take the Rockies first 3 plus money because the idea, and it was the same thing with Job, is that here's a pitcher who's not pitched in Coors, and will he get touched early? It's, Casey Mize is number 1 overall pick. He could figure it out and get better, get more. I got to make a decision here. All right, let's roll on to 7:05 p.m. Eastern. Philadelphia Phillies, Tampa Bay Rays. We already heard from Bobano giving us the Phillies team total over 4.5. We're at George M. Steinbrenner Field here for this one. And let's go right to the weather, as it's been a extreme. I don't know if anybody else is having as much fun as we are capping the Rays at home and studying the weather. It's just fun. Like it's complicated, and I'm not sure if I'm smart enough, but I have friends who are, like Mr. Spooner. 84 Fahrenheit feels like 90. It's hot. Wind is blowing out to right center, to straightaway center, and then to right center. But it starts dying. As you see, like this, the wind changing every night is just so interesting in how it's going to affect our action. 6.3 miles per hour out, and then dies down to 3.6. It's hot and it's blowing out. Robert Franklin on the over 8.5, and Wine Time Sports on Rays money line. Take a look at the line history. Jose will go over the cash flow. Line history wise, this total is a 9. It opened up at 8.5. It stayed there for a long time. It didn't move till 9 until 10:20 this morning. And it's minus 115 to the under. So not a full half run move, but close. From a money line standpoint right now, the Rays are plus 133. This line's been wildly interesting. They opened up at plus 123, and for hours it was moving towards them or not moving. But then 9 a.m., they're down to plus 117, clear move, and then Phillies money comes in. Now we've had a 9-cent move towards the Philadelphia Phillies. So quickly, we have Jesus Luzardo here. Jesus Luzardo. Troy says left-handed pitcher on the mound. Rays home dog. Easy bet on the Phillies. TJ says with you, Troy. Love the Phils. Same shit as yesterday with the movement. Luzardo coming off a 3-2 win at home over the Diamondbacks. Lefties are hitting 205, 477 against them. Righties aren't hitting him. 254, 660. He's pitching very well right now. Pepio has started to come around. I think maybe our expectations for him were too high. Righties are hitting 321, 956 against him. I mean, I would never have guessed that if I had given my expectations for Pepio through the first, 6 weeks of the season. I would never have said that. And then we say, well, who are the righties in the lineup? And we talk about this a lot. Trey Turner, Castellanos, Realmoto, Bohm. It's the same 4 that are hitting hard. So here we go. Phillies versus righties, 257, 748 OPS. Rays are not. This is not progressing to the mean. And when I talked to my dad about that, he said, "Well, maybe you have the wrong mean. It doesn't always progress. Maybe your initial mean is wrong." And again, we don't have enough sample size to yet. Phillies bullpen 4.66 ERA, 1.38 WHIP. Rays bullpen 3.16 ERA, 1.17 WHIP. Spooner, I love hearing you talk about George M. Steinbrenner Field and the Tampa Bay Rays. Take it away.
Yeah, so I looked at this game and I was really excited coming into yesterday's game to bet the Phillies, and I'd done it the day before. And looking at today, I could not believe that they were giving us the Phillies. Want to say open minus 135 or something like that, 130. It felt like an absolute gift of a price from the books. It's moved a little bit, but it's really fishy to me. Why are we getting the Phillies so at such a bettable price? You think about it. This lineup is built to hit in Steinbrenner Field. Lefties in the short porch there. wind blowing out. There's no obstructions. There's no buildings. There's no signs behind this to impede the wind to help the ball carry. Like, I don't understand how you can have this line so short. Tampa has not hit lefties all year. Philly's bullpen, even though they won the first 2 games, is completely untouched. Their best bullpen pitchers are lefties. How are the Rays going to score the runs? And you just said it. It's regression. With the wind blowing out, Steinbrenner outside of Coors is the most offensive friendly park today. It's going to be in the 80s all day. The humidity is really high, which is good for allowing the ball to carry. The pressure in the air is low. This game is built like a day game in the stadium. When we talked about early on in the year, the article from Fangraphs, they talked about that wind would be blowing in the night games. The pressure would go up and the humidity would go down. But that's not the case. We're playing a day game at night right here. And I had to move on the over. I got the 8.5 minus 108 at DraftKings this morning. I think it's moved up to a 9 right now, but I think you can still get 8.5s. This is a really, I think Phillies can get there all by themselves, but there's something about this line that's so fishy. I think the Rays have to put runs up on the board today. And Luzardo, as much as I love him, I said he's going to pitch a lot better on this Phillies team with an offense behind him. Eventually, you got to get touched, and this seems like a good park to get touched. So I just see a lot of runs on the board today. I'm on the over. It's I think it's my favorite play on the board.
Yeah, it's such an interesting breakdown. Wine Time says he's back in Kevin Cash facing a sweep at home. Been very successful over the last few years. It just is a lot more successful when they're a favorite facing a sweep at home. I also think, Wine Time, that there's something about the Trop, that shitty stadium on travel days, where you're just like, look, get me out of this shithole. And nobody feels that way at George M. Steinbrenner Field. It's got this unique feel to it. I don't know. Again, maybe I'm adding a psychological level that doesn't need to be there. Jose Bouquet, Phillies, Rays, take it away.
I agree with Spoons. I'm on the over in this game as well. It is also my favorite baseball bet of the day. 67% of the bets are on the under, 88% of the money on the under. We've gone from an 8.5 to a 9. I got the 8.5 here, minus 125 to the over. I think that the market is I think we should bet unders at this park at night every time, unless the market is screaming over like this again. We took the over, I think, in the game 1, cashed it, took the under in game 2, cashed it, and we're going to take the under here in game 3, and we're going to cash that as well. So over 8.5, minus 125 for me.
Great stuff, fellas. I'm still stuck with this Rockies spot. I'm just gonna let it go for now. Like,
stop looking at the Rockies.
I know. I can't help myself. JW on the Tampa Bay Rays. Lynn Belvedere on the Phillies -1. That's going to be my bet as well. I'm going to be on the Phillies -1 here. As much as the bullpen concerns me. Yeah, buddy.
There's no red flag there. Why is it so cheap to you? You think that's properly priced? Is it? You think the Rays are just still overvalued by the books?
My answer to that, and it is that there's two things playing that are helping the Rays market-wise. One is that they're facing a sweep. We know some people bet that blindly. We also know that this was their opening day starter. If this was game 1 of the season, I'd be on the Rays, wouldn't you? You would tell me that Luzardo's going to pitch better with the Phillies. I'd be like, okay, well, let's see it because Pepio's an ace. So again, I don't know if that's enough to validate it, but at least I have those two spots in my pocket. I mean, look, the Rays are not turning this issue against left-handed pitching around. We watch the weakest left-handers in the league shut them down. So I hear what you're saying. And Troy says the first 2 games of the series, this is the exact same market as yesterday. You know, moving to the Rays and then slightly coming back. So picks from Dave in the house. Picks from Dave gifted 10 Pub Sports Radio memberships yesterday. I believe it was yesterday. But thank you, Picks from Dave. Nice to see you, buddy. All right, let's roll. Next up for us, we have 7:15 p.m.
By the way, real quick, sorry, I'd love to see picks from Dave's on a Sunday Night Baseball live stream, Dave. Just to ask you publicly, shout out to you, my man.
Yeah, I'm gonna be there soon too. Just figuring out if it's Hastings or Delta Downs. 7:15 p.m. Eastern. Cincinnati Reds 16-29 home at the Atlanta Braves 17-19, 11-6 at home. Also, next Sunday, it won't just be me on the show with you, Jose. Mama Bag. We'll pour some beverages and hang out with you guys. Bet some horses. Bet some baseball.
What about Peepaw?
No, Peepaw wants nothing to do with us.
Fuck.
Nick Lodolo, the lefty on the hill, going up against Spencer Schwellenbach. Baltimore up 2-1 now. AM on the Reds money line and the under 8. Joe Yurkovich, great to see you. Also on the Cincinnati Reds. Lodolo, last start, 5 1/3, 10 hits, 7 runs, 6 earned, 1 homer, 4 Ks, 2 walks, and 11-6 loss at home versus the Nationals. So, we're watching some of these pitchers that got off to really strong starts get lit up. And it's lefties getting to Lodolo here. The reverse splits. Lefties getting to him. This Braves lineup has Matty Olson, got Verdugo. You got Albies, the switch. He'll hit. Well, you never know if they're going to stick with the left on lefts, if they believe in the reverse splits, because it can change from year to year. And they also have Harris as a lefty. So they're getting touched up by these lefties. One time says, is this simple smash and grab for the Atlanta Braves? Schwellenbach is also, both these pitchers are just so similar. They started so well, and then they both got lit up and smoked. Speaking of which, and I know that Kyle, we only have Spoon for, so I hate waxing or anything because I want to hear Spoon's stuff, but Jose talks so much about the managerial switch with Francona coming in. Hunter Green gets pulled after 3 innings, 6 strikeouts. He looks phenomenal. And who does he bring in? The slowest pitcher that he has. It's brilliant. I mean, maybe it's simple. Maybe it shouldn't be brilliant. Maybe it's simple. Of course, you got to give him. What are they seeing? They're seeing 101 mile per hour. So bring in Suter, and now deal with 86. Suter got through that next inning in 11 pitches. I mean, it's just Terry Francona.
I had the same thing happen to me, Jimmy. Actually, it's a great story. I started a game. I throw fucking slow as fuck, and then the next guy that came in threw hard as fuck. We do it like that.
Is that how you do it too?
Yeah. You have to show him that crafty lefty off speed that is just his fastballs, and then gas him up.
We have possible drizzle throughout this baseball game. Wind all over the place, but not very strong. We have Schwellenbach and Lodolo, 2 really strong young pitchers, both coming off getting lit up and smoked. It's lefties that have been getting to Schwellenbach. Lefties have been tagging him. Lefties are hitting 272 with an 809 OPS. Looking at the lefties here, you have Friedel, Dela Cruz from the left, Gavin Lux, and Fraley. Fraley looked very good yesterday. So there you go. Reds are hitting 251, 717 against righties. Braves are not hitting lefties at all. 205, 618 OPS. Both bullpens are quite good. Then we get to the line history here for this one. We have the Braves at minus 195. They open up minus 169. But they're not hitting lefties. And then when we get to the total here for this one, we have an 8. It's minus 107 to the over. This opened up at 8. It went down to 7.5 last night. It was there for 3.5 hours. So here we go. Spooner, we don't have much time left with you here. Is it a hard out at 2? Is it 8 minutes on the clock?
We can have like 15 minutes.
Beautiful. That's
there,
all we need. That's all we need. Okay, so Spooner, take it away here. Reds Braves.
I think this is a Brave smash spot. You talked about that great managerial move, moving to the bullpen, but he had to do it really early, and he had to use a lot of his bullpen. If I were going to move on this game, it would be using the Braves as a parlay piece, or maybe taking Nick Lodolo over outs. I think he's a pitcher that maybe his numbers don't reflect it, but is good. And I think the Reds have a lot of faith in him. I think a spot like this, you talk about that managerial pitcher relationship. You walk up to your pitcher and you say, hey, yesterday was rough. Even if you give up a few runs, I need you to go 6. I need you to get there. I could see that getting there with his outs. I'm really trying to avoid player props just as a market in total this year. So it's not for me. I stayed off, but Braves parlay piece. I heard Jose using it with his Red Sox. I think that's a good spot.
Let's hear from Mr. Bouquet. Reds Braves.
Yeah, like you said, spoons. I parlay piece for me. It's the other half of the 2-leg parlay with the Red Sox. I got plus 150 on it. If this line opened up at minus 200, I'd be like, this is a ridiculous price for the Braves, but it opened up and then explodes towards the Braves. So I guess I guess that's just the market saying it's one of those lines that if it gets beaten down by the public here and we're wrong or whatever. But 81% of the bets, 90% of the money on the Braves. It's a little concerning. But like you said, Jimmy, opened up at minus 165, gone up to minus 190, seeing minus 200s at like DraftKings as well. So I'll just ride with the parlay, 2 legs, plus 150.
I wonder what the limit should be on minus ones, and if I should open it up a little bit in both NHL and MLB, honestly, because it's the minus 145 that horrible. I mean, I see cappers that are comfortable moving on it. Why do I have to keep this limit at minus 135? I've got to decide. I think the Braves can get there late and are most likely a very nice live bet in case they struggle early against Lodolo because they're not hitting lefties very well. Actually, before I do this, Jose, what is their weighted runs created over the last 15 days for the Atlanta Braves? Last 15 days, WRC plus.
Right now, from the 15th to the 8th, they are 25th in lefty weighted runs created plus. 25th, 58 weighted runs created plus, but only 94 plate appearances against lefty in that time. That is by far the least amount. Next closest is 113. Full season against lefties, they are 23rd, 71 weighted runs created plus, so not much better if we're being honest.
And this drizzle, which could turn into rain at some points, if it pauses the game for any amount of time, it's going to hurt the Reds badly.
Atlanta has every arm available in the bullpen. If you go look at the usage over the last few days, and the Reds are on the opposite side of that after yesterday, I think you're kind of hitting it right there. Find a live bet with this game.
I also kind of want to have an investment pregame. It feels like it's kind of lining up. But Lodolo is a problem and could become a bigger one. Let's roll on to the next spot on the board. 9:38 p.m. Eastern. Spooner, I know you were discussing this game and very, very interested in this game, and you have bet this game. So we'll let you hit this one, and then Jose will start off the Dodgers Diamondback spot. That's the game I can't wait to talk about. I can't wait to talk about both these games. We're in Angel Stadium in Anaheim, California. Angels lead the league in home runs. I don't know how that's happening. It might just be against righties, though. That might just be against righties. It's in my head, but they've been all year, despite they're hitting right now against righties 222 with a 687 OPS, but they hit jacks. A wine time trying to get to this game tonight. This total is an 8.5.
It must be like crazy hat day for wine to go to this game, so I respect that, wine.
This opened up at 8 and has moved to 8.5. It's minus 112 to the under. And when we get to the money line here for this spot, we have the Angels at plus 116. They opened up plus 109. Jays have gone from minus 121 to minus 126. So very slight move towards the Toronto Blue Jays. We have Troy Torrance saying Angels. Chris Bassett against Jose Soriano. Bassett is coming back to earth. He's still pitching good. Lefties are getting to him. 282, 785 OPS here. The Angels lineup is with the injuries and everything. They have no lefties that you need to worry about here. Feel the kill on the under 8.5. Oh, and also Johnny Guns was talking about the under in the Reds Braves game and the interest in that. I think the issue really is the Reds bullpen would be the concern there. If you wanted the under, I would look to early under. And then you'd need both Schwellenbach and Lodolo to bounce back from bad performances, which isn't beyond the realm of possibilities, which maybe actually makes me think of a first 300 possibly there, but I'll look into that while we're covering these games. Chris Bassett getting touched by lefties, destroying righties. 2.95 ERA, 1.18 whip, 43 strikeouts over 39 2/3, 43 strikeouts, 7 walks. I mean, he's pitching better than he's ever pitched. I don't expect this to continue. Jose Soriano finally had a good start. They still lose 9-1, but he didn't allow a run. 6 innings, 6 hits, 5 Ks, 1 walk. 3.83 ERA, 1.43 whip. His K to walk ratio is down. He's not getting strikeouts, but we know he's a very high ceiling. Lefties are hitting 256, 705 against them. Righties 290, 701. Jays are hitting just 237 with a 646 OPS versus righties. Abysmal. The Angels are overall season long hitting better, but they're not hitting well lately. Angels bullpen is a travesty. The Jays bullpen just got destroyed last night. Take it away, Spooner. Jays, Angels.
Yeah, we were talking about this game this morning. The -8 or the under 8.5 is my look on this game. These are two struggling offenses. The Angels without Trout is just, it's really pathetic to look at. The Blue Jays have not been able to put runs on the board on a consistent basis this year. This lineup is really frustrating if you're trying to back them on a regular basis. You talked about Soriano's really good game last time. He's a pitcher I believe in. He's really good at keeping the ball on the ground. He's a pitcher I think can string some good starts together. I don't see the Angel Stadium as being a good place to put up runs tonight. The bullpens are in a place where I trust them. I just don't see how we get 9 runs on the board. This is a 3-0 game, 4-1 kind of game to me. Chris Bassett is the wild card in my opinion. If he goes nuclear and the Angels somehow put up a bunch of runs, that's how my under gets blown up. But outside of that, I really think this is a really good under. It's my second favorite play on the board today.
And the total going from 8 to 8.5 did not concern you?
Jimmy, I don't always agree with the market. Sometimes I fully think that the market makes moves to throw people off. And this total, if I can find reasons to completely go against it, then I'm confident doing it. I like it a lot.
TJ right with you says, I agree. This under 8.5 was the second bet he placed. AM says every game in the series has exploded with runs since the bullpens come out. So did you think of a first 7 or a first 5?
I did. Like I mentioned with player props, I'm trying to cut partial games out of my cap. I sit here and I look at the starters. I probably look at the bullpens more than I look at the starters. And I just think this is, I really like it, Jim. The full game has more value, in my opinion, than the partial game.
God, seeing that game go 5-4 Angels last night was absolutely nuts. Like I was just a loss for words. This Jays team. Jose Bouquet, Blue Jays, Angels, take it away.
Yeah, I've got nothing on this game here, but I've got on the market here 68% of the bets on the Blue Jays, 67% of the money on the Angels, 91% of the bets on the under, 89% of the money on the under. I think it's sus whenever there is a same line, same exact line almost back-to-back days. I typically believe if that is the case, then the other team, whoever won yesterday, especially if it's the favorite, will lose today. So I don't know. I stayed off this game. I know the Angels won, but again, the same exact line as last night, just sussy to me. So no action.
All right. We have Spooner moving on the under, backed by our friend TJ. Spooner, of course, swept the board with us last week. Let's get into our final spot on the board. My guy, Brandon Fought, pitching up against Yoshinobu Yamamoto. God, I want to be at Chase Field for this baseball game. And you got to get there early because this game isn't going to last long. We've talked about the roof situation for the Diamondbacks throughout the week. Right now on Thursday, it is open. It's open today and it's open tomorrow and then closed Saturday, Sunday. So the roof is open. Let's take a look at the weather here for this spot. This is also the area of Stacks play of the. Oh no, Mookie Betts over 1.5 bases. Sorry, my bad. Ronnie Lofton on the first 5 under 4.5 and plus 105. Like both these pitches to deal early. We have 92 Fahrenheit. Feels like 87. 3.6 miles per hour left to right. Stays there. It's warm. It's beautiful. From a line history standpoint, we have a 9.5, which is very interesting. Opened up at 8.5. When it opened up at 8.5 at 9:11 p.m., it was minus 115 to the under and plus 102 to the over. And now we have a 9.5. Now it's not a real 9.5. It's plus 105 to the over and minus 118 to the under. But considering where it opened, it is a full run move towards the over, which is unbelievable. Unbelievable. You Capper moving on the under here. Robert Franklin on the under 9. AM got the over 8.5. That got to feel good about the model when it gives you an over and then you look back and it's gone up a full run. From a money line standpoint here, we have Brandon Pfaadt at plus 131. It's opened up with Pfaadt at plus 137. So we've had a short move towards Pfaadt. This is wild. Yamamoto, 0.90 ERA, 0.93 whip, 49 Ks. He does have 13 walks over 40, but he's only allowed 2 jacks. Last start win at Atlanta, 6 innings, no earned runs, allowed 1 solitary hit, 6 Ks and 2 walks. Lefties are hitting 130 with a 384 OPS against them. Righties, it gets them a tiny bit, 211, 625. And Brandon Pfaadt had such a great season going and then got lit up and smoked by the Philadelphia Phillies in Philadelphia in his last start. 7 runs, 6 of which were earned. Lefties and righties are both hitting him. Lefties 264, 797 OPS, righties 288, 770. The odds were better. They were quite a bit better before, or the stats were better before he got lit up and smoked last start. Dodgers, these are the 2 best teams in Major League Baseball against righties. Dodgers 262, 799 OPS, Diamondbacks 246, 791. The Dodgers bullpen 3.52 ERA, 1.24 whip. Not as good as last year. The Diamondbacks bullpen has had some tough luck. I think they're better than the numbers indicate right now. 4.66 ERA, 1.33 whip. Jose Bouquet, Yamamoto, and Pfaadt, and the total climbs. What do you make of it?
Yeah, give me the Arizona Diamondbacks here as, I don't know if I guess is my favorite play, but it is one of my top quotation marks plays here. 88% of the bets, 71% of the money on the on the Dodgers here. We've gone from minus 160, minus 140-ish now. Yeah, I just think Brandon Pfaadt shines here, does his thing, and the Diamondbacks win this game outright. So
why is the total climbing?
Full game for me. 81% of the bets on the under. 81% of the money on the under. 77% of the money of the bets on the under as well. I don't know why it's going up. I lean over though. All that money on the under, and we've gone up. It's the 2 most. I don't know if you look at the card. You feel like I'm Joe Smo, random better X. I see these 2 pitchers on the bump. I immediately think under. So I think the over will probably be added as well for me personally. I just Jimmy, this is the first game you see. You roll out of bed, you see these 2 pitchers. The first thing you think is under, and I think that is where we take advantage. Hopefully, we bet the over here.
I am saying Dodgers flying across the country, play Diamondbacks who just got smacked around by the Mets divisional opponent. What a Diamondback spot. Spooner, make some sense of this total at 9.5 with these 2 studs on the hill.
So I think the roof being open was prior knowledge. I think the books knew that it was going to be open when they set that line last night. I look at Yamamoto, and I think he's the wild card here. I know Pfaadt just had a bad game. When I see a good pitcher like Pfaadt have a bad game, I expect him to come back and pitch well. This is a home game for him. He's pitching against the evil Dodgers. Yamamoto's had a really good season, but everybody has a plan to get through a lineup till you get punched in the face, and this Diamondbacks lineup is the team to punch you in the face. I could only get on the Diamondbacks here. I like it. I also see Pfaadt as, the top bats in that Dodgers lineup are so scary. They can get to anybody, especially anybody. So the over is the only way I could get on a total here, and the Diamondbacks is the only team I could take. I still see 140s out there and minus 165 on the opposite side of that Dodgers. You see different markets between the offshores and the regular legal books, and that's kind of interesting to watch the relationship between the two as legal books become more prevalent over the next few years.
That was bad, Mr. Belvedere, but it actually made me chuckle. I don't know. It says maybe I'm 45 now. He says it's going to be a hard fought game.
Yeah, that's just you being an old man right
I
there.
think
I'm
I'm
on the
getting old.
over. Yeah, I'm on the over officially 9 minus 120. This is going up to 9.5 at some places as well.
Over as well for Jose. We got to get Spooner back. So Spooner, my man, review your action for us here. Coming off sweeping the board last week, a few days away from the debut of our new show, Walk-Off Wagers, here on Sundays, 11 a.m. Eastern. Excited about the new show, Spooner. Take it away, your action.
Wine better be wearing that fucking hat, by the way.
All right, so I opened my day today with the Orioles money line. I got that at plus 130. Next, I got Texas Rangers money line plus 130 as well. Rays Phillies over 8.5 at minus 108, and Blue Jays and Angels under 8.5. I paid a little too much juice on it. I got that at minus 120, but you can find a better line there right now. I really like all the plays. The totals are my favorite looks on the board today. The further the season goes on, I think the totals are exposable. Like, there are only so many variables that come into play, and I think we can isolate some of them, find some advantages on the board and in the market. Definitely starting to get into this baseball season. I'm having a lot of fun with it. Jimmy, I'm really excited Sunday. I think it's going to be a really good show. We got one of the best producers at Pub Sports Radio, Jose, going to be on the 1s and 2s. Can't wait for it. Wine Time's going to have the best hat on YouTube. I really want to grow this Sunday stream. I think we can get a lot of views here. There's not a lot of sports shows going on Sunday that are going through the whole baseball card. Wine Time's always going to have some basketball looks too, and if we could steal some looks from some of our other cappers in different sports, we can get that in there too. I've been in talks with different people. I'm excited to see what could happen, but just keep moving, keep trying to win. Let's have a good day today, guys. As always, stay disciplined. Don't get carried away. It's just one day. Tomorrow's another day to make money if today didn't work out.
I love it. Well spoken. Our guy Spooner in the house, and Walk-Off Wagers starts this Sunday. We're excited about it. Jose, my friend, I cannot wait to talk basketball. So let's do a review of your MLB action here for Thursday, May 8th.
Sure. I have a lot of action that I didn't expect to have, honestly. Arizona Diamondbacks plus 132. That's money line, obviously. Phillies Rays over 8.5 minus 125. Red Sox Braves parlay plus 150. The Rockies first 5 plus a half minus 120, and the Dodgers Diamondbacks game over 9 minus 120.
We have 2 runners on in Boston. 2 runners on and 1 out. Runners on first and second. That was a double up spot for me. That's my only early action. Although I will have to make a decision between the Rockies' first 3 or the first 5 plus a half. And I will make a decision. And part of me says, you're rolling right now. Just bet them both, man. And I'm going to try not to listen to that voice. We have the Phillies -1 and the Braves -1. And then I'm going to join you guys on the Arizona Diamondbacks. That is Major League Baseball for Thursday, May 8th. Jose, stick with me here for NBA. I cannot wait to talk about this basketball game. You know, the 10.5 point spread yesterday, I kind of just felt stuck. I didn't want to simplify it too much, and I'm running well, and I just was a moose in the headlights. And thankfully, the chat had action. Looking back, I know Razor Sharp picks doubled up first quarter, first half on the Thunder. I was close to kind of doing that with the Celtics too. I don't know if I was sharp enough to just say, okay, I know the Thunder are going to, hammer, and the Knicks are a tricky team, and the Celtics are relying on the 3 too much. And so I was just a moose in the headlights. Not here. I'm attacking this game, Jose. I've made 3 bets on this game, and I can't wait to break this one down. So why don't you set a table for us, Jose? 8:30 p.m. Eastern, the West Semifinals, Game 2. Golden State leading the series 1-0. Take it away for us, Jose, my man.
Sure. As most cappers, I'm sure in the chat know already, no Wardell Stephen Curry in this game. Grade 1 hamstring strain. Good thing it's only grade 1, though. So we'll see if he comes back later on in this series. 68% of the bets and 79% of the money on the Minnesota Timberwolves here. Very interesting to talk about here. It seems as if, and I need to switch my odds sheet here real quick, but I'm seeing 10 opener. We've gone up to 10.5 here, so not much of a movement with all that money, but it's still a half point in the Minnesota Timberwolves direction. 81% of the bets, 71% of the money on the under in this game here. And I'm not seeing a move to the under here. I'll double check here in a second. But I'm very interested to see what you have to say about this game. I mean, obviously, again, no Stephen Curry makes this game much more interesting. Will the starters, Jimmy Butler, Draymond, step up here? We see that player theory all the time. I'm seeing openers of, by the way, 202, where we used to play poker, down to 201.5. Penny has 201.5 as well. Or excuse me, they have 201 opening up at 202, juice to the under there already. What do you think, Jimmy?
It's interesting that the cash flow all of a sudden in playoff basketball just I don't care about. I don't know why. It's something that's washed over me over the last little while. We haven't seen much of a move towards Minnesota. And one thing about Steve Kerr, and I like it about him, is that he's so excited because he's got the built-in excuse and nothing to lose and a different team with Butler as the go-to guy, and he's so excited about hitting the floor tonight. You can see it in his voice. He feels for Steph not being there. We got the bases juiced. So I have moved on 3 bets here in this one, and I spent a lot of time trying to figure out exactly how I wanted to bet it, and I'm comfortable with how I've moved on it. I believe all the lines are still available. Market doesn't look like it's moving too much, and I've made 3 bets. So I'll start just with the bets, and then I'll talk to you guys about, how I see it coming to fruition. I'm on the Timberwolves first quarter minus 3.5, the regular VIG. I'm on the Warriors first half team total under 45.5. It's a low number. I'm not too concerned. I like the bet a lot. Could this go over the 23.5 first quarter? It could, and still could go under the 45.5 first half. Could the full game go over? I think that it really could. You could see the Warriors have a big fourth quarter if the game's out of hand. So then I added Ant Edwards over 27.5 points. I know he's not been shooting well, but he's got to go to the hole. One thing now with Draymond and with Jimmy Butler is if they ever lend help, if you ever see them in the paint, you run at them. And I expect Ant Edwards to not worry about his poor shooting, to do what he did in the second half. And what he did in the second half was go to the hole. Go to the hole, go to the hole, go to the hole. And I expect him to do that here tonight. So these are my 3 bets. The first half team total under 45.5. Timberwolves first quarter minus 3.5, and Edwards over 27.5. The playoffs thus far is playing at a very comfortable pace for both these teams, right in their wheelhouse. The Warriors shot better from 3 than they did from the field, and I want to challenge Buddy Hield. They know, the Timberwolves know that Draymond and Jimmy Butler are going to do all the dirty work. But somebody's got to put the ball in the bucket, and that's going to be Buddy. And so you have to have somebody on him on the perimeter. He can't get easy looks. You got to put your shoulder into Buddy's chest. The Timberwolves are shooting horrifically. They've been shooting bad all playoffs. 43.4 from the field, 30.2 from 3. this series, they're shooting 39.5 from the field and 17.2 from three. Michael Lester on Heald over 14.5 points. Ant-Man over 7.5 rebounds. That parlay at plus 254 over at Will Hill. The play of the day from Rez Mob is Naz Reid over 12.5 points. He's got to be rolling. Voodoo Ranger on Jimmy double-double at plus 180. Rudy double-double at plus 140. So I think it's going to be very difficult for the Warriors to score. And I could just be on the full game under, but I like the first half under better. And what do I like the best of it is the Warriors first half team total under 45.5. This is one of those situations where I could make 5 or 6 bets on this game. If you're making 5 or 6 bets on one game, your unit size isn't high enough. I believe. So these are, I didn't want to have, more than 750 on this game. These are the 3 bets. We have Buddy Hield and Draymond Green coming off inspired performances. Jimmy Butler was a monster. I mean, Buddy is rolling right now. 24 points, 5 of 8 from 3. Butler goes for 20, 11, and 8. Green had 4 first half threes. 2-0 Red Sox. Let's go. The Green's not going to hit 4 first half threes again this year. Come on. But he's going to play big, and I should probably move on the full game under, honestly. But again, do I want to add another unit? The more I talk about how I see this game, the more I want to move that full game under. Kerr did the same thing that the Lakers did in that Game 5 clincher, and that was just zone defense. If the Wolves aren't able to shoot, then just, set up the zone. The Wolves went 7 of 47 in that Game 5 clincher. Then they missed their first 16 shots from 3. They're down 20 when Naz Reid hits his first 3. I do not expect here that they'll shoot as poorly, but they might. Sweaty Butcher prime cut is in. Jimmy Butler over 6.5 assists. I need Edward to go to the hole. Imagine he goes 9 of 22 from the floor. He looks terrible shooting the ball. And he still goes for 23 and 14 boards, which he doesn't need to do here. Nas went for 19. Julius Randle went for 16. They were 5 of 29 from 3. So, and everybody shot bad. Conley was 0 of 5 from 3. DiVincenzo was 3 of 11 from 3. But I like what was said. I just, you guys know that what was said, I like so much. So, here, Julius Randle. He has 3 rebounds. He says, I can't have 3 rebounds. We've all got to play better. I've got to play better as an individual. I can't come away from the game playing 30 minutes and have 3 rebounds. I've got to play better. And I believe him. I believe he's going to, go into the dirty areas and get some boards. Anthony Edwards, and you know him. He's a little different of a guy. And so I still like what he said very much. And some people play it off like he doesn't care. I don't see that at all. I don't see that at all from these comments. He said, people are going to try to blame whatever, blame whoever. They can blame me. I just didn't play good enough. I just look at it like every last one of us has got to play better, individually, including myself. And we'll see how it goes. I think Ant is going to take over. I think he is going to go to the dirty areas, and anytime Draymond or Jimmy come over with help defense, he's going to go at them. Now, there are stats that tell us that the Warriors are going to be fine with Steph out of the lineup. But those stats are from, he hasn't missed a game since game 1 of the 2018 Western Conference semifinals. I do not agree with, I don't believe in these stats. Since 2013, the Warriors are 104 and 51 in the playoffs with Steph in the lineup. With him out of the lineup, they're 9 and 3. And in games that Curry missed this season, the Warriors went 7 and 5. We know that the players will step up and maybe be more than the sum of their parts. I would like to have more bets on this game. I'm not going to. But I kind of want to add the under. I kind of want to add Warriors full game under. But I'm going to stick with this. Warriors first half team total in 45.5. And Edwards over 27.5 points. Timberwolves first quarter minus 3.5. And with the ability for some of these teams to come back, we're not seeing teams pull their starters too early. because teams are coming back from 20-point deficits. So that is my action here. 3 bets. Timberwolves first quarter -3.5. Warriors first half team total under 45.5. And then Edwards over 27.5 points. And look, I want to bet more. I feel like this game has a ton of angles for us to get paid on. And Action Jackson says the books think that without Curry, the Warriors will get smashed. The line's absolutely disrespectful to how they've been playing without him. Yeah, look, I don't want them on the full game that much. I would, if I had a free bet on either one, I would take them. Look, Jimmy and Draymond, Jimmy Butler, Draymond Green, Steve Kerr are really excited to show you what they're going to do. And you got to pick the angles where you think you have the advantage. And I'm with you guys with the Wolves early. But I'm only doing the first quarter. I think that Jimmy can, be playoff Jimmy. And Draymond is having fun out there, and they're going to play dirty basketball, and which is fine. I love it. It's playoff time. So we have a 1-0 Royals here, and that is my NBA action for Thursday, May 8th. I've got to review a couple things. I've got to go. Jose is going to do the race here for $50. I've got to pick up Ella. My wife is at a doctor's appointment, and I can't be late here. We also have both kids have basketball practice. I've got to go. I hate having to go, but I've got to go. I love seeing the Red Sox up 2-0. I did double down there. I got to get my bets in before I go here, which is what I'll do right now in Major League Baseball. But thank you guys for the support that you give the channel. It means so much to us. And it was great to see AM back in the chat. Also, Mr. Slaughter, Jeff has opened up his arms. If Truth Teller wants to come back, Jeff is a man. These things happen. So if Truth is watching, he's welcome to come back. Let's go out there and get this money. We care so much about capping. And for a lot of us, our lives are on the line with these decisions. And there's going to be fights. There's going to be issues. It just happens. It happens because we care. Thank you to Bobano and to Mr. Morgan Spooner. Thank you guys for jumping on with us. And all of you guys in the chat. Jose will give you a shout out here. But I truly, I wake up so inspired. But I barely sleep. I'm so inspired. I can't fucking sleep. I can't turn it off. I just want to win so badly. I want to win with you guys. So thank you for everything. Jose, thank you, my friend. And I will be in touch. Let's go out there and get this money. And, leche. Jose, my man, I'll talk soon.
Yep, I'll see you, Jimmy. Let's race. Let's race indeed. The dogs are on the track here. 47-second race, because that is how long the Kentucky Derby was this year. And every time we run these dogs, it is like the goddamn Kentucky Derby is running here. So shout out to you guys in the chat. Shout out to all of our gold members here in green. If you're not a gold member, it's $9.99 a month to get put into 2 horse races a week here for $50. A lot more stuff is given away. We've given away entries to our contest before, stuff like that, giveaway shirts, etc. So come in, become a member. It damn helps us out here. So shout out to you guys. Streamline Gaming, thank you for asking about that max bet. It's obviously the Celtics, guys. I bet the Celtics to win the series. Minus 115 for me. I've been waiting and refreshing and waiting for that line to come out. 115 to win 100. You guys know I'm a $25 better, so it's a big bet for me. I think the Celtics are better on the road, and they beat their ass. So that'll be a lot of fun. You guys, no one is surprised by that bet at all. So $100 bet for me, my max there for sure. Let's get into this race, everyone. I appreciate all you guys for being in the chat here. Let's get after it. Jermaine, I think you are just a regular member here, not a gold member, Jermaine. So thank you for being a Pub Sports Radio Weeby Pubbin member. But it is a gold member race only. So there are those 2 different tiers there. So shout out to all the members, but the gold members get into this tier. And by the way, sorry for the delay here. Our guy Swig has started to do a email for all of the members, Believe Gold members, to get an email with best bets in there. So shout out to our guy Swig. But let's get after it here, and let's race those dogs as we're going here in beautiful San Antonio. And a beautiful race has begun here. Skunt Blaster in the mix, 35 seconds left. Joseph Thompson up there at the top of the screen. Zoe Faye as well in the mix, or I should say Zoe Faye, Truth Teller down there as well. Still a gold member, I believe. So shout out to you, Truth Teller. If not, I will delete your ass here soon. AM in the mix as well. We've got T up in there as well. Nunya coming up from the top of the screen. Picks from Dave. Saturated, pushing up there at the top. Nunya, who's going to come out on top? Is it T? T's coming. T's in there. And looks like our guy, producer Tehran, gets into the number one spot. Big O finishes right behind him. AM in third. Fat Wally and Helga in the mix there. So shout out to you guys, as always, for joining and being these gold members here. It's great having you guys in, and it's great running these races here. So our guy T, congratulations to T on being a gold member and winning the races here. So that concludes today's show, ladies and germs. I thank you guys all for being a part of this. Jimmy, obviously, thanks you guys here as well. Good luck, obviously, Jimmy, with the picking up of the children. I hope you guys are on time and all that good stuff. Sweaty Butcher, Wager Detective, Big Daddy Boom, Jermaine Samit, our guy Jimmy in here, Saturated, Zoe in here as well. And yes, Jermaine, gotta step it up, I guess. But we appreciate you for being a member in here, my guy. Gerald Jones, Saturated, Lynn Belvedere, AM, Action Jackson, Justin McKelvey, our guy Nasty Nate. Shout out to my guy Nasty Nate as always. Appreciate all you guys. Let's have a day here. Let's have a day. Big Daddy Boom, thank you for the compliment, my guy. Let's have a day. It's gonna be a fun one. Not many games, I should say, but a lot of action still. So thank you guys all. We'll be back here tomorrow. You guys know how Fridays go. Loaded cards, a whole new slate of baseball games as well to talk about. More intrigue in the NFL, NHL, and NBA playoffs. So thank you guys. We appreciate it. Let's go make some money, and let's leche a los bookmakers. Let's go.